It's a rainy Friday night in JEFCOED. You're looking live at the Oak Grove High School campus where tonight is the Battle of the Groves. The Oak Grove Tigers hosting the Pleasant Grove Spartans in a Class 4A Region 4 showdown. Good evening, I'm Chris Osborne on this rainy Friday night here at Oak Grove. And you are looking at the JEFCOED broadcast of about a little bit. So both these teams come into tonight's game after pulling off a win in their first regular season. Sorry about that, guys. We got a little wet here. They both pulled off a win in their first region game last week. Oak Grove perfect 3-0 so far. Pleasant Grove, their only hiccup was their first week in a 3-point loss against McAdory. Tonight, both coaches are ready for this matchup, which, by the way, hasn't happened in quite some time.
It's definitely a challenge. You know, first time playing Oak Grove in a long time. Actually, first time playing them since I've been here at Pleasant Grove. I think it's been about 20 years since we actually had a chance to play Oak Grove. Short road trip, you know, down the street to play Oak Grove. Coach Musso has done an awesome job with the program and where he got those guys at, and they're playing hard. They're going to play the game the right way. They're going to play physical and disciplined football. So excited about tonight's game. Looking forward to the matchup. I think it could be a double-edged sword. You know, you get an opportunity to see some new teams, to prepare differently from some teams, and have an opportunity to travel some different places for some of these guys. But 4A ball is just as tough as 5A ball. There's a lot of great football teams in 4A, especially in our region. So looking forward to the challenge every week to go out and participate and get a chance to play this game we love. You know, thank the county for bringing a spotlight to these young men, getting exposure. You know, it's a blessing. Some of these guys may not play college football, but to have this platform and opportunity to go out and play on TV and have an opportunity to be seen is always a blessing.
Well, they're a great football team. They got great coaches and great players, and they've been phenomenal for the last several years. They're big and strong, and they've got a lot of speed. And so anytime you have speed on the field, they can go anytime they touch the ball. So something you have to prepare for. They're well coached, and so you know, it's a big challenge for us. I love our team's work ethic. These guys work hard every day. We haven't been disappointed today that we've come off the field. Whatever we put in front of them, they've worked really hard to achieve. I think JEFCOED is the best school system in the state, bar none. And we're real excited to have you guys here at our school. And we feel like we've got great facilities brought to you by JEFCOED. And it's just a great atmosphere. It's a great opportunity to showcase the athletes in this system. And we're just very thankful for Dr. Gosselin and all that they do.
We're about 15 minutes away from game time. Obviously, the rain is coming down here, so it's probably going to be a pretty sloppy game, but you will see every play right here on JEFCOED-TV's Game of the Week. Unfortunately, we have to share a bit of unfortunate news with you, some heartbreaking news that Pleasant Grove Jr. Lyndon passed away after being involved in an accident early Sunday morning. He was just 16 years old. The loss has left a huge hole in the hearts of Pleasant Grove players, but they have continued on this week in his honor. We do know that a balloon release is going to happen shortly based on the rain. The players on both teams wanted to commemorate this young man's life. Obviously, the fans here are heartbroken as well, as our hearts going out to his family and his loved ones, the students. The principal had nothing but kind words to say about him, as well as Dr. G offering his condolences, and even the coach from the other team, Pleasant Grove, Coach LeBoy, offered his humble condolences to this family and this school family. So certainly a tragedy here. Obviously the game is going to go on, but we, you know, it is kind of a somber mood remembering number 28. So we will be going to a balloon release and a special memorial for number 28.
Noah Chapman, quarterback, junior.
Levi Valentine, running back, senior. Brooks Coven, running back, sophomore.
Seth Wooten, wide receiver, senior.
Jack Scott, guard, junior. Levi Finley, offensive lineman, senior.
Bay Morris, tackle, junior.
Andrew Nix, offensive lineman, senior.
Caden Broadhead, offensive line, senior.
Griffin Wesson, defensive end, senior.
Anthony Pierce, defensive line, sophomore.
Knox Wilson, defensive end, sophomore.
Ethan Jones, outside linebacker, junior. Jackson Bonnet, linebacker, senior.
Connor Brooks, linebacker, junior.
Jackson Hyde, linebacker, sophomore.
Wally Hicks, defensive back, junior.
Braxton Yoakum, safety, senior.
Tyler Plastrini, free safety, senior.
Evan Carlin, corner, senior.
Chris Musso, head football coach, Oak Grove Tigers. Welcome to tonight's game.
Caleb Freeman, quarterback, sophomore. Kyler Moore, running back, senior.
Tremere Washington, receiver, senior.
Zion Barney, receiver, senior.
Christian Robinson, receiver, senior.
Jaden Watson, receiver, senior.
Joseph Rogers, offensive guard, junior.
Caleb Rose, left tackle, senior. Daniel Cole, offensive lineman, senior.
Jacoby Williams, offensive line, sophomore. Ryan High, offensive line, freshman.
Camden Robinson, defensive line, senior.
Ian Mitchell, outside linebacker, senior.
Dominic Robinson, linebacker, junior.
Jordan Smith, middle linebacker, junior.
Kobe Hawkins, outside linebacker, senior.
Jacorian Jones, inside linebacker, senior.
Ethan Everson, DB, senior.
Malachi Williams, DB, senior.
Taylor Gaucher, cornerback, junior.
Howard Daniels, safety, senior.
Roderick Peterson, athlete, junior.
Darryl LeBeau, head football coach, Pleasant Grove High School. Go Spartans.
All right, welcome back to Oak Grove. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turntine here. We're getting ready to call the game. We had a little lightning delay, and they usually have to wait 30 minutes after, and we're getting very close to that time. So let's find out what's going on up to date. Chris Osborne's just down the way in the press box with us with a special guest to tell us what's going on. Chris, what you got?
All right, thanks, Scott. We are here in the press box. Obviously, we definitely want to make sure that safety is paramount. And joining me now, I have the principal of Oak Grove High School, Mr. Stephen Ray. So, Principal Ray, tell us a little bit, obviously this is protocol.
Yeah, absolutely. Student safety is always first and foremost in our mind, everything we do. We were almost to that national anthem and that big lightning strike. We got everybody out of the stadium. We'll maybe doing that all night long, I guess.
And have to give you guys credit. You guys got everybody out of the stands real quick. You told them where they could go. So obviously you guys have practiced this.
Yes, sir. Always practice our safety plans. Have a plan no matter what we do. We want to make sure that we're ready. And that's what gives our people trust in us to know that we're going to take care of their students and also anybody that visits our stadium as well.
Most of us here on this broadcast were working in the news back when there was a devastating tornado in this area. So obviously Oak Grove takes safety and weather very seriously.
Absolutely. We always have. It's why we practice our drills in the classroom, but we also have safety plans for every event, whether that be home or away, always ready. And you never know what might happen, so we've got to be ready regardless of the cost.
All right, Principal Ray, thanks so much. Scott and Caleb, back to you.
Thank you very much. And you see the wet turf here at Oak Grove, a beautiful stadium and facility here in Oak Grove, Alabama, with the Battle of the Groves tonight. Pleasant Grove Spartans at 1-1, and Oak Grove sitting here 3-0 in this Battle of Region 4. That's going to be terrific. As we know, and we've been saying a lot of the year, Pleasant Grove has dropped down from 5A to 4A, Caleb. They're not the team they used to be, but they're still really good, and this is going to be a real test for Oak Grove.
Yeah, it is. I think the thing about Oak Grove, they're probably feeling really good about how they've started this season. Obviously 3 wins to start the year, but also this is a team that you haven't faced in over 2 decades. I know Pleasant Grove, Oak Grove right next to each other, a Battle of the Groves that we talked about. But they haven't played since 2001, and this is a kind of challenge that you want to give yourself as a program to see how you measure up against a program that you've seen have success over the past few years. We talk about how much Darryl LeBeau has won with Pleasant Grove, but with Coach Russo at Oak Grove, this is a test. You want to go up against these kind of programs, and it's not just a one-off game, but you want to. This is something that establishes yourself. Whether you win or not might be one thing, but get out there and compete.
Darryl LeBeau, 67-15. His playoff record is gaudy, as you said, 3 championships, and when he hasn't gone to a championship round, he's gone right before it. I think he's 18-6 in his playoff career, so he's been winning since day one at Pleasant Grove. And I tell you what, Chris Musso has done that same thing here at Oak Grove. They had only won 12 games from 2016 to 2021, and just in 2 years and 3 games, he's already won 13 with a winning record here. Terrific.
Yeah, even more so. I think it was the 4 years prior to his arrival. They won 5 total games, so they were not in good shape when he took over. They returned to the playoffs last year, didn't get that win, but now this is the first time in program history that they have had consecutive 3-0 starts. And obviously you want to go beyond that. They finished 6-5 last year, a playoff loss. That was good for last year. I promise you, if you ask Coach right now, he would not say 6-5 with a first-round playoff loss would be good for this year. They want to grow, and he's obviously taking them in the right direction.
So it's going to be a really good game here tonight. We certainly expect that. Oak Grove and Pleasant Grove here, and the rain has subsided for now. The track that they will be on will be a little wet, but it looks like it drains pretty nicely, like most of these turf stadiums. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit treacherous, but if it stays like this, it's a little bit cool, and we should have a good football game here tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I think we talked a little bit about the rain last week. It didn't rain throughout that game, but it was maybe just as wet out there in the field, and we saw that turned into several turnovers in that game a week ago. So I think we'll keep an eye on that to see just how much it impacts this week's game.
Absolutely. So the captains are going out on the field right now, and we'll go out there with them and listen to the greeting here between Pleasant Grove and Oak Grove.
All right, guys, we're starting a little late, but it's going to work out well. Might get a little wet. Y'all are leaders, okay? Captains in honor, so take care of your team. You take care of all the guys in white. Don't let them get in any trouble. Same for red, okay? I'm going to flip this coin. That's heads, that's tails. You call it in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it again, okay? You ready?
Heads.
Called heads. It is tails, so you won the toss. What do you want to do?
Defer to second half.
Okay, excuse me, sir, second. Oak Grove has won the toss. They will defer. You're going to want to receive. Or so you put your backs here. You're going to kick this direction, so turn around.
Clear.
And hopefully the lightning will stay away and we'll get this thing started. We're about 20 minutes or so late right now, but not too bad. And there come the Tigers of Oak Grove.
Here come your Oak Grove Tigers.
Oak Grove coming out again. They've started 3-0, but 3 blowout victories at that. Obviously, competition level goes up a notch tonight, but I think you can only do so much with the with the teams that are in front of you. Those 3 teams are in front of them. They won pretty easily in all 3 games. And they are just 2 spots out of being ranked in the top 10 in the Alabama Sports Writers Association poll. They haven't been ranked in that poll since 2002. I can safely say if they get a win tonight, they would move into that top 10, as Pleasant Grove currently sits at number 2 in that rankings.
And there is a good look at the Spartan sideline there. Darryl LeBeau, again, the head coach there. A little quick story. I told Chris Osborne, who's good friends with Darryl LeBeau, the head coach of Pleasant Grove, our sideline reporter, that Darryl's father was Frank Warren, the all-time Auburn great defensive tackle, played for the several teams in the NFL, but mainly for the New Orleans Saints. It was an excellent player up there, lasting 10, 12 years for sure in the NFL. And that's Darryl LeBeau's dad, Frank Warren, former Auburn great. So we're about ready to kick it off here. And Oak Grove, again, in the red jerseys, the red helmets, and the black pants, of course, Pleasant Grove. Purple and gold. They got purple helmets with the gold stripe with the white down the middle of the helmet, purple pants, and the white jerseys with the purple numbers.
Something to keep an eye on here in this. Pleasant Grove returned 2 kickoffs for a touchdown in last week's win against Fairfield, so we'll see.
And there's the kickoff brought back to the 40-yard line. Jaden Walton, who's a wide receiver. He also can play some quarterback, bringing it back there, and that's where the Spartans will start their offensive play tonight. And again, if the rain stays away, we'll have a pretty good little cool game here.
Yeah, it feels,
if it cooperates.
Feels nice. There's a little bit of a fog over the stadium, moving over the stadium pretty constantly right now because of that rain. Kind of gives us some cool scenes, and it certainly feels pretty good out here as long as we stay dry.
All right, so Pleasant Grove will come out. They got a very talented quarterback. First of all, they got 4 wide receivers that are seniors, but Caleb Freeman is the quarterback, and he is a really, really outstanding player. Number 2. Very tall, angular, looks a lot like some people you may have seen at the next level. There's a wide receiver screen out, and he's still not down. And now he'll be drugged down there as he threw it out in the flat to Tramel Washington. And Evan Carlin, the senior, grabbed an ankle and then hung on for dear life. It's a gain of about 4.
Washington's not an easy guy to take down. He had one of the kickoff returns for a touchdown last week. He also had a receiving touchdown in that win over Fairfield. They want to get the ball in his hands, and they showed it early there. Just a quick little screen pass. You're going to see a lot of that with number 1 on Pleasant Grove.
Freeman with a handoff up the middle, and Oak Grove stacks it up right there. Good charge there, leading the way, defensive end Griffin Wesson, the senior, number 11 right there. Good shot of him. So a gain of about 2. Didn't look like he got that far, did it?
It didn't. I thought he got stopped close to the line of scrimmage. A manageable 3rd down here from midfield.
3rd down, about 4. Freeman drops the ball. Stays cool, runs it up the middle, trying to get on the outside, has the corner, and the first down as he's run out of bounds, and he'll pick up about 7 or so, maybe 8 we'll give him, to the 45-yard line.
That's we can talk about the quarterback being able to, Freeman being able to make something out of nothing, a bobbled snap, and we've talked about weather, but he didn't panic. He looked up. The pocket was collapsing around him, but he found the hole and got the first down.
Freeman drops, pops, trying to find Washington. But arriving right when the ball was there was Kyler Polistrini, the senior free safety. So a nice play there. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I think that's a good hit to knock the ball loose and a clean hit. I will say I think some coaches on the Oak Grove coaching staff, they're going to see that play and say, you're lucky he didn't catch that ball because the receiver did not go down and he didn't wrap up. He put a lick on it, made it force the incompletion. But if he didn't, that could have gone for a touchdown.
2nd and 10, running inside again and running and tackling again is Wesson. And that was Colin Moore, who had 142 yards last week. He's got 4 straight games of 100 yards. And obviously the Tigers are going to be keying on him tonight.
Yeah, he had a great game last week. Not just the yards, but he also had a couple of rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. He'll be used a lot of different ways.
Throw it out to Washington. He's got a big gain down the sidelines that almost navigates it for a touchdown, but what a play by Washington. To your point, he's the guy they look for.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to do that. Those short throws, keep it comfortable, and as soon as he catches that ball, that stop and turn. I think if you watched the Alabama game last week, that reminded me a lot of Ryan Williams' move on his touchdown catch against South Florida.
Colin Moore strolls in for 6 off the right side over there behind Cole and High and Williams. And that's an easy touchdown for Pleasant Grove. There it is again as he vaults into the end zone to give the Spartans a 6-0 lead.
That is now 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games for Moore. They went up quick. They like to do that. Once they come off of a big play like that, they do not give your defense time to line up, time to adjust, time to get substitutes in there. They go right after it, and they've been doing that for years under Coach LeBeau, and it seems to work every single time.
Good snap. The kick is up, and it appears good. Mamadou Berry, the sophomore, kicks it through 7-0. Pleasant Grove. So, good start by the Spartans here after we got back from this game. Hey, be sure to join us next Friday night. We got the Groves tonight, the Valleys next week. How about Pinson Valley traveling to Shades Valley and a Class 6A Region 6 showdown? We'll be back on the east side of town. We're on the west side of town tonight for our JEFCO-Ed Game of the Week. Chris Osborne will start you off with the pregame show at 6:40. Then Caleb and I will bring you kickoff at 7 o'clock, like always, right here on JEFCO-Ed-TV.
Man, if can pick 2 games further apart, if you're talking just Jefferson County travel, we might need to start heading that way now to get there by next Friday night, especially if we have any more weather delays. Knock on some wood right now tonight. But it's what I like about this county. There are good teams on each side of it, and there's a lot of room to cover, probably more than you realize until you get on the road going from one school to the next.
So Evan Carlin back to receive the kick. And it goes out of bounds. That'll be a penalty. And Oak Grove will get good field position to start their first offensive series, trailing 7-0 here. Again, the rain has subsided for now. We pray that it stays away. We got enough now for the grass to get a little rain. There's your call. And the football at the 35-yard line like normal. And the Tigers will come out with Noah Chapman, a junior quarterback, leading the way. There's a good look at Chris Musso. And here come the Tigers. Handoff on the wide receiver, end around, and that's going nowhere. Coming up strong was Colby Hawkins, a senior linebacker, shooting up from the outside.
Yeah, they didn't seem fooled by the quick start. They obviously have seen something. I mean, this is how Oak Grove likes to play. They do the huddle, but then they come out quick, and as you mentioned, they like to run the ball. So Pleasant Grove's going to be ready for those quick snaps, those quick motions, and understand that they need to be ready before the ball is even snapped. You can see that with the defensive lineman almost already on the ball.
Levi Valentine was the ball carrier for Oak Grove. 2nd down 10. Flip-flopping ends. Handoff again. This is Jones, and he'll be dropped for a yard loss. Coming up from his end position, Ian Mitchell, the senior. Seniors across the front for the Pleasant Grove Spartans. There's a good look at Mitchell right there.
They gave him no yards on that one, too. I feel like we could have witnessed 2 tackles for a loss, but instead we are sitting still at 3rd and 10, so it could certainly be worse for Oak Grove, but they don't want to get in these 3rd and long situations where they need to throw the ball, especially after giving up that early touchdown. They have to make sure they can stay within their game without letting this game get away from them.
3rd down and 10. Chapman drops back. It's a screen. Good call. Over the middle. 40, 45, 1st down. Excellent call there. And they got it to Seth Wooten. I think that was Wesson, actually, the defensive end who plays tight end as well. They got a lot of two-way guys for Oak Grove. So about a, 13, 14-yard gain there. 13 yards we'll give him. 1st and 10, Oak Grove at the 48-yard line. Good call on that one.
It was. It was a good play to pull out a screen pass. I think Coach LeBeau is probably thinking, why weren't we ready for that one like we were the first couple of plays?
Jones dropped the football. I didn't see who got it. There's a fight for it right now between a Tiger and a Spartan. And we'll see who they give it to. And the Spartans have it. Number 56 for Pleasant Grove has it. And Oak Grove turns it over. Take a look.
I don't think he ever even had that ball cleanly on the handoff. It came out before any contact was there, whether he was bracing for contact, whether the ball slipped out. I think that I'm just not even sure he ever had that ball cleanly, and sometimes that's what happens when you have all those misdirection handoffs, especially when a ball is slick.
Xavier Miller came up with the football for Pleasant Grove. So here comes Caleb Freeman already leading 7-0. 1st and 10, they've got the football on the Oak Grove 48. Freeman drops. He's going deep. He's got a man wide open, and he just missed him. Flying it down the line for Pleasant Grove was Eric Hanley, 6'2". And he just put it about a yard or two too much.
Wow, yeah, that was a great ball right there. I thought that. That's about as good as a deep ball you can see at the high school level. I'm not sure if he thought the receiver might have been running a little bit more of a fly, but he just missed him. A great throw, great look.
Freeman did the RPO, pulled it, and tried to hit his crossing route. It looked like Barney maybe going across the middle, and he missed him on that. So 2 misfires on wide open receivers.
Yeah, it was a little bit of pressure on the left side of the offensive line there that might have caused that missed throw. But still, just a little too far ahead of him. Again, I don't know if he expects a little bit more from his receivers or if it's just the adrenaline trying to see a play before it even happens. You got to get the ball to them before they can run.
Christian Robinson was the intended receiver. 3rd down and 10. Freeman going deep again. This time better coverage, knocked down. Excellent coverage over there by Evan Carlin, running stride for stride.
Let's see if we can see this in the replay. I certainly thought there was a lot of jersey being pulled there. It could have been a flag. I think the last second he got his hand in there to knock the ball away. That's why it wasn't thrown. But the official at the goal line pulled his flag all the way out and then put it back into his pocket. I think he wanted to throw the ball there, but a last-second deflection made it to where that wasn't defensive pass interference. Good play.
4th and 10, Pleasant Grove lining up as if to go for it.
I think we've seen this from Coach LeBeau over the years. A pooch punt probably about to happen if they get the snap off.
High snap for Freeman, and he can decide what to do. No, that's Thompson, actually. He throws it wide open in the flat. Is Freeman. Touchdown. So Thompson took the snap. Washington, I should say. Washington took the snap, throws it to Freeman. Take a look.
I don't know how you can say that other than that is just a heads-up play by a receiver. By Freeman to be open, and also Washington to say he was waiting and waiting and waiting. I think Oak Grove's coaching staff is upset, saying that if the flag could have been called, it would have been man downfield as blockers got off the line of scrimmage to go down for a punt. And he is fired up right now all the way out at the hash marks.
You see Musso out on the field, and there's a good shot of him. He's on the hash mark, making his point to the official right now. So, and I don't think he's going to win that argument, but if he makes it for later, he is very upset with what's going on that. Here comes the extra point by Pleasant Grove. It is up, and it is good. So
I'd love to get another look at the touchdown from the high vantage point just to see if it was possible that there was an illegal man downfield on that. because I could see why the argument would be there for the fact that a play like that, you expect a lineman to be 10 yards, 15 yards downfield already. Now, if they weren't, then that tells me it was a fake all along.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we could get that overhead look again or not, but I understand his frustration.
Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris, what did you see?
Guys, there's nothing like parent and community involvement when it comes to high school sports, and I can tell you that the Spartans have something very special going on. Just a few weeks prior to the season at Pleasant Grove, they call this Dads and Decals. The Spartan fathers, father figures, mentors, and men of the community all got together in August to place decals on the team's helmets prior to their first game. It's been so successful that now this is going to be a new Spartan tradition. Caleb, Scott, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. A little report on Pleasant Grove and the close-knit community factor, which we love about these Jefferson County teams. Most of them is very, very community-oriented. There's a short kick. Jones has it, trying to run across the field, and that's not what you want to do against the Spartans who have superior speed. You would be better served to run up the field, and a very short return there, and the Tigers will start on the 27-yard line. So Oak Grove, 3-0 coming into this season.
I'm going to take another look at this play. Look at the linemen set up.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone really moving downfield. I can understand the frustration expecting it to happen, but I didn't see anything that would have warranted a flag.
There's a snap and a good run by number 21 for the Oak Grove Tigers, Ziante Hubbard. So he got a first down on that with 13 yards, or 12 yards, I should say, on the run. 1st and 10 at the 40.
It's a much better start to this drive.
Oak Grove likes to get that tight, powerful formation. Handoff, second man there is Jackson Bonnet, a running back. They'll run 2 or 3 different guys, and that'll move the chains again. So back-to-back first downs for the Tigers. Pleasant Grove will put 5 in the front line. 2 of those are backers. They're not very overly large on the defensive line, but they do have great team speed defensively. Chapman hands inside, this time stuffed up there. And leading the way for Pleasant Grove was Dominic Robinson, number 44.
That's what Pleasant Grove is going to need if they want to be able to pull away with this game. Don't let Oak Grove run up the middle. You know for the most part you're going to have them covered on the edges as long as you keep up with that misdirection. That's going to be Oak Grove's plan of attack, is to get to the edges is through misdirection. But if you can stop them going up the middle, you're going to take away a lot of what they like to do on offense.
Handoff right end, and again, not much running room on that end either, as a host of Spartans were there waiting, including Jacorian Jones, senior outside backer. So 3rd down and 10, and there's a timeout on the field. Officials call the timeout, and it's a heat timeout. Not much heat happening out here, but we take them. Let's take a look at the schedule for Oak Grove. You could see those 3 big wins, including last week in the region against Holt, Pleasant Grove tonight, and then more coming up. They'd love to get this one because West Blockton, then 2 back-to-back on the road, and then you got Fairfield down the line, and that's a pretty difficult schedule coming up.
It is, and I think this is the kind of game I mentioned off the top. It's about competing. I mean, obviously you want to win because you're trying to chase, your first region title in more than 2 decades, but at the same time, you also kind of feel like you are at the very least the second-best team in this region. And so if you can get out here and you compete with what a lot of people think is the best team in the region for those games against Fairfield, for against ACA, these are games that you feel like those are the games that are going to control seeding. And this is a game that might control more of attitude and motivation and maybe a little bit of encouragement for the rest of the year.
3rd down and 10. Chapman drops, throws. They don't throw very often. Threw it just off the back hand, if you will, of Bonnet. And that'll be 4th down. I would suspect Oak Grove will kick it away, but they don't appear to be doing that just yet. But it looks like now they'll bring on the kicking team.
I think you got to give your defense a bit of a chance here. And those first 2 drives for Pleasant Grove, the Spartans started from their own 40, and then they started from Oak Grove's 48. Yeah, they have 108 yards. They're up 14-0, but that's not a lot of chance for your defense. The defense has gotten them to 3 third downs. They just need a chance and get some field position, and I think this is the right call.
Polistrini, the left-footed kicker, with a nice directional kick, and he kicks it away to the 14-yard line. Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sidelines. Chris.
All right, guys, so just a little bit more about the dads and decals. What I found out from one of the assistant coaches is that the royal purple helmets were blank, and so they put all the decals on every player's helmet. But they are wearing a special decal tonight, LK for Lyndon Kynes.
Yes, and obviously our thoughts and prayers, and I shared that with Coach LeBeau earlier this week as he was on social media talking about it. Kynes passing away in a vehicle accident, just incredibly sad. And there's a good shot of the LK on the back of the helmet there. You got a teammate one day, and the next day he passes away tragically. That's the fragility of life.
And I think you talk about playing with emotion. We see some of these things kind of happen maybe at a collegiate level, at a pro level, and players having to get out and play. It's different at a high school level when you see the kids in class every day. They're part of your lives beyond the football field, and it's obviously a tough situation to play on.
Illegal participation by Pleasant Grove, so they're backed up 5. So it'll be 1st and 15. Freeman, he always has plenty of time. There's his arm. Perfect strike, but it was dropped. Washington had his hands on it and knocking it away for Oak Grove was Braxton Yoakum, the senior strong safety. Nice play by Yoakum.
That's a really, really good play by Yoakum. Not only to stay up with them, I thought he was going to have to bring him down to save a touchdown, but being able to save the completion at all, that is a really impressive defensive back play right there on a ball that frankly should have been caught in a really well-thrown ball.
2nd down and 15. Pleasant Grove with 3 wide receivers set. Kind of normal these days, right? And flanked is Colin Moore to his left for Freeman, the sophomore quarterback. Hands to Moore, pull a guard, nice trap block, and Moore's got all kind of running room up to the 29-yard line. So an excellent game. Watch the pulling guard.
That's a really well done to seal the edge, but also give the hole on the inside. And that's what Pleasant Grove does so well. I've talked about that they're going to take their shots down the field, and they've taken them. Like 3 or 4 straight plays, they've taken them. And suddenly you're dropping back just out of instinct at that linebacker position. And just like that, they run a draw play, opens up tons of space. That's a 19-yard gain on 2nd and long.
1st down and 10 Spartans. Fake to Moore over the middle, RPO, got his man Washington, who just can't keep his feet. Falls down at the 45. We're going to give him 16 yards, but he could have gone for more than that. Washington, to Caleb's point, he is the favorite receiver coming into this game with 15 catches in 2 games.
Yeah, now he's got 3 right now for 58 yards already, and he probably would tell you that he should have a couple more. But he also has a touchdown pass, so I think he'll take that one.
Moore goes up the middle and stuffed down right there. Coming up hard, number 40 for Oak Grove, Hyde Jackson, a linebacker. So 2nd down and 9. Good look at Freeman, the sophomore. Handoff, Moore again. Somebody got his lower half. Connor Brooks hit his upper half, and he was going nowhere. Take a look.
That's good defense right there. That's gang tackling, being able to get to the ball. And again, that's what they're going to need to do because you have to protect that deep ball. But up front, they will run the ball if they see an opportunity, and that's good defense to be able to keep your eyes on the ball, find the ball, and get to it quickly.
Yeah, they're going to run, and then take a shot. And this might be where they do it. 3rd down and 7 on the 2-yard gain. Freeman changing the play. He looked to the sidelines, looked like he was changing it, and I think they nodded and gave it to him. He drops back. Holding will probably be called. He throws it out in the flat. It's complete. And it will be a first down if it stands, but I don't think it's going to stand at all.
I think even with this is going to be a holding, but even with the holding call, that was an impressive play by Freeman, dancing around the pocket, throwing on the run, finding a receiver. He's a very impressive sophomore. It helps being surrounded by senior skill players, but a very impressive and confident sophomore for good reason.
Eric Hanley was the target, but it didn't matter as the hold will back them up to about the 38-yard line. So they got to get to the Oak Grove 45. So 3rd and 17 for the Spartans. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Turned into a nice, cool night if it'll stay this way. Freeman drops back in the slot as Washington does a dipsy-do, makes one man miss. They give him a little cushion, but end up knocking him down right there.
Well,
so it'll be 4th down. Palestrini with the tackle.
It is fun to watch him with the ball in his hands, the way he can move and shift around. Just a little screen pass ends up being a 14-yard gain, and a reasonable 4th down again that they might try to go for it again.
So they got enough yardage to go for it, for sure. 4th and, 3, 4 maybe? Football at the 50. Freeman looking left, stayed left, running left. Trying to pick it up, but he's knocked down. He won't make it. How about the closing speed of, I don't know if that was Jones or number 24, Mekhi Martin. I think it was Jones.
Jones had a big game last week. I think he finished with 8 tackles, 2 for a loss, and he had a punt block that was he scored a touchdown on, not to mention his rushing touchdown. He plays everywhere, and that's the kind of plays that they expect him to make. You saw him returning kicks earlier, too. He has that kind of speed that can keep up with the Pleasant Grove team.
And as we said, they'll play several guys. There's a handoff off the right side, and they'll let several guys run the football as well. So a nice positive gain there of about 5 or 6.
If there are any Memorial Park football players.
So 2nd down, we'll call it 4 actually. 2nd down and 6. Martin Mekhi with that carry.
I think there was maybe 3 fake handoffs before that point.
Yeah. Handing it outside, and that's the guy that's making defensive plays. But he was drugged down right there. Howard Daniels from his safety spot drags down Carlton.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about with being on the edge. Pleasant Grove is going to have the advantage, and sometimes you just have to know when you're beaten. I think he kind of took that one step, that instinct as a kid. You think you might be able to get around this. But once you realize he wasn't, he went down pretty easily. He didn't try to do anything dumb, go back too far, and it's still 3rd and 9, something that Oak Grove has picked up already tonight.
Clock running at 1 minute. Chapman drops. He's got room to run. He's got all day to run. He'll get the first down for sure and get close to the 40. All he had to do was get to the 43, and flag is down, and it's a defensive holding on Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, I think we saw it there on the edge on this Oak Grove sideline. Saw the receiver stand up from the ground and throw his hands up in the air like, what happened? Turns out he was the one who got fouled. Great first down run and scramble. Good pickup on the blitz as well by that offensive line, and even one by the running back.
Now the rain's starting to come down a little bit more with the drizzle, and we'll see how that impacts the game. And it was a defensive holding there, so that'll tack on 10 more and put the football at the 32-yard line of the Spartans. So Tigers with their best drive so far here to wrap up the first quarter. Chapman, second man through Jones. Got a little power football going. He'll get 4 or 5 on the right side behind Broadhead and Nix and Finley. Scott and Morris across that front 5 for the Tigers. He'll get 4 on that one, 2nd and 6.
Best drive so far of the night for Oak Grove. And they're carrying it with the power game, but it's the big plays in between. I think you're starting to see what Pleasant Grove is so good at, mixing it up. Oak Grove's taking a little bit out of that page as well.
And I think Oak Grove is going to be happy to send this one to the second quarter. We're glad you're watching. 14-0 Pleasant Grove over Oak Grove. You're watching the JEFCOED-TV game.
Hello, JEFCOED family. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the teachers of Jefferson County Schools. I appreciate everything that you do and how the commitment and dedication that you give every day that you come to service our children and to service our families. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your relationships that you have formed with our children. And thank you for ensuring that our children are achieving and learning. You are our boots on the ground, and without you, we would not be as successful as we are. And just know that you're loved and you're appreciated by not only your students, your coworkers, the families you serve, but by me. Thank you for everything that you do.
Welcome back to JEFCOED-TV. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turrentine, Chris Osborne, our amazing crew here, giving you yet another fine telecast here on Jefferson County School System Football. Oak Grove and Pleasant Grove, 2 of our teams, of our 13 here. We love when we have both of them being in the school system. 2nd down and 6. Oak Grove going left to right. Big hole. Nice run there as Jackson Bonnet found room. And again, that size advantage Oak Grove has, starting to move some bodies.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, I think part of it has to be that misdirection too. I mean, we're sitting here in a play-by-play commentator's nightmare trying to find the ball on every play. And if we think it's a nightmare, you know it's tough for the defenders there at the line of scrimmage. So really impressive play so far and a great response from that first quarter.
Chapman to Jones. Again, that pile moves even more, probably about 6 at least, getting close to the 12-yard line on that one, as coming up hard to make the tackle, Robinson and some other guys for Pleasant Grove. They're starting to get worn down a little bit here in the second quarter.
Especially on a drive like this. Even with that quarter break, you're out there for a while, and remember, this is for a ball. You're going to have some subs out there that come in and help out, but you're not going to have a ton of depth, and it's going to make it difficult on those guys up front.
Handoff, boy, if he'd have kept his feet, Bonnet had 6, but he got tripped up. But in any event, well, I thought he had the first down, but they're not giving it to him. So about a half-yard shy, 3rd down and a half-yard. Darrell LeBeau signaling in the defense, it looked like over there on the side. 3rd down and a half-yard. Handoff Jones, right side. He's got the first down and more. He'll be close to the 5. They'll mark him just shy of the 5 as he got a couple of yards there. So first down, Oak Grove Tigers.
Yeah, that was something. Put your head down, go pick up the first down. Give us a new set. 4 tries at the end zone from the 5. I don't know if I would even attempt to do anything too cute. Don't pitch it, don't throw it. Keep running at him. You got 4 tries to go 6 yards.
Handoff, a little end-around action. Jones should be in. And do they give it to him? Touchdown. Touchdown, Oak Grove. I didn't see a signal from the judge over here, but they gave it to him as he topples in the red for 6.
Yeah, that I said you needed 4 tries. They didn't need 4 tries. Should have known with the way they were moving the ball on that drive. That's a really, really good response. You gave up that touchdown very quickly on Pleasant Grove's first drive. then with what happened on the fake punt, this easily could have gotten out of hand for Oak Grove. Great response. Big touchdown there. We got a new ball game now.
So Brawley Burns will be the holder, and Braxton Yoakum will kick it through, and does. So they cut this lead in half, 14-7. Pleasant Grove in front by 7. Good shot of the crowd there in their rain gear for tonight's action.
You have to keep that rain gear on because it is coming and going very, very, pretty often. Well, it's been changing. It looks great again right now, but give it 5-10 more minutes. We'll be putting that towel over our plugs all over again and trying to dry out our papers. And
well,
it's a good night for football.
We're excited Tuesday night to bring you our first flag football broadcast. Trio of games for you in one night. How about that? Action starts at 5 with Hueytown hosting Fultondale. Then it's Clay Chalkville squaring off against Gardendale. Finally, Macadorian Minor meeting in the nightcap. 3 games in one. Join Matt Coulter and myself starting at 5 o'clock right here on JEFCOED-TV.
The growth of flag football in the state has been really impressive over the last couple of years. Now being a part of the Super 7, it's been fun to watch, and I can expect it to continue to grow.
Yeah, it's very, loose ball, and they've just decided to fall on it at the 25-yard line.
I got to say, you see that. There's some frustrations there, but eventually he looks up, sees some red jerseys coming. Falling on the ball was the right decision. You like to see that from a kid in that situation, not to panic and just get the ball, get the offense on the field.
So fresh football for Pleasant Grove. They'll start on the right hash mark, far hash mark as you watch tonight. Caleb Freeman, again, coming into this game, 34 of 48 for 587 yards and 6 touchdowns. And he's had some big shots come very close tonight. Handoff Moore. He's going to drag some defenders for 2 or 3. Should have been probably stopped behind the line. But Jackson Bonnet, the outside backer, drug him down after a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, that was an impressive run. It's a power running from a speed back.
Moore, whistle. Everybody stopped almost before the whistle. And not sure what they're going to talk about here.
Have a flag on the near side.
Dead ball foul. Procedure against Spartans. So it'll back them up 5. It'll be second down at about 12.
I understand some of these deep shots and some of these passes have fallen incomplete, but I'm surprised Pleasant Grove hasn't gone back to it with how close they came on some of those balls.
Freeman looked left, pump fake, then threw it a little short to his receiver. Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris.
So one of the things that the coaches are saying right here on the sideline, we're not waiting on them. We're trying to go fast. Much kind of like my team, Tennessee Vols, going fast is what they Pleasant Grove Spartans are trying to do right now, guys. We'll see what happens. Back to you.
Chris Osborne had to get his team in there.
It felt like that was the point of what he was talking about. He wanted to talk a little bit about the Vols.
He can do that. 3rd and 12. Freeman drops back. Got a man. Boy, he really manipulated there. Had a man, but good defense, knocking it away. Evan Carlin, I think that's his 3rd pass broken up.
Yeah, that's a good play. I'm not sure.
It's actually Yoakum.
I don't think that was a play that was going to be made anyway, but he was there, and got to give him credit. There's not a lot of holes in the secondary other than over the top.
So they're making Freeman move his feet. He's been successful on some, but that time the Tigers force what should be a punt and should have good field position. There's a short kick. And Oak Grove will let it go, but that just cost him about 20 yards. As it will be deadened. Wow, they blew the whistle before it stopped rolling. All right, let's take a look at Pleasant Grove's schedule. They had an off week in the second week. As you can see, it doesn't show, but on August 30th. But they lost to McAdory, our via Holmes over there by 3, but then beat Fairfield pretty good last weekend. Oak Grove tonight, so they'll be back home for 3 in a row, and hopefully, I'm sure Darryl LeBeau hopes they'll get some momentum going.
Yeah, and I think that's a schedule that they can do that with. Again, I'm not sure you would have picked this game as the most competitive from the first half of their season schedule. But at this point, I think with how Oak Grove has played so far this season, I don't think anyone's surprised that this is still a game in the second quarter, and I know Coach LeBeau isn't. But those next 3 games should be some momentum-building games and be able to get to the point where they are looking like a state title contender like they expected.
Wiley Hicks on the carry and got 7 on that right side, 2nd down and 7. Again, just a tight, powerful formation, 3 backs. They hand again. Same man, first down, and they'd love to grind that the rest of the night, wouldn't they?
I mean, if you're going to get 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, you can.
Look at big T. Cook there for Oak Grove. He's not in my starters, but he's getting a lot of playing time as an extra lineman. Handoff. Jones, right side, 6 or 7 more. So they've started to figure something out here, just being physical, and instead of going side to side, running straight ahead, Caleb, looks like.
I mean, you're talking about running backs coming in and out. I'm seeing linemen coming in and out, lead blockers coming in and out. They are feeling so confident with how they're moving the ball right now. And Pleasant Grove needs to change something. I don't know if it's packing the box, if it's trying to get some fresh legs in there.
Well, Pleasant Grove, as we said, is not very big. And they're getting pushed around just a little bit, and there's another first down for Jones as he's running behind Bain Morris, Levi Finley, and others. And there comes big number 77, Cook, and his brother. I think they're twins. They're freshmen, and they're 9th graders, but they're pretty large.
Yeah, it's hard to miss them out there, and right now it's working running behind the big bodies.
And there's a couple of more twins, it looks like. We got twins all over the house. Enjoying the game. Sorry about that. They hand off this time. Pretty good stop by Pleasant Grove as Brooks is dropped down after a yard. But, again, to your point, it's rare to see the linemen come shuffling into a football game.
Yeah, and I think you got to give credit to Coach Russo here, because that has to be done to make this kind of offense work at this level. You're going to wear out your offensive linemen otherwise. And when you have the extra blockers in there on every play on the edge and the backfield, you need everyone to get in there and be able to block.
Great ball handling by Chapman as he handed off to the first guy through and then spun and did some more trickery. But Jackson Bonnet only got a couple more, so now 3rd down and 6. I'm not sure it's a passing down, though, because they may be 2-down territory for the Tigers. We'll see.
I think that's probably true.
If they need it. There's Jones again and just bashing his way, running like it was first down, right? So they get 3 more, but now it's 4th down and about 3. No, maybe 4.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I would have tried maybe a little bit more of a sweeper, get Jones out, let him use his speed. I think that's where he's probably best at, especially when you can catch them off guard. Now I think on 4th and 4, yeah, you've been running the ball well, but I'd be surprised if you just try to power this through again from this far away. See what they end up doing.
4th down and 4. They may try to draw them off here. But Pleasant Grove is about a yard and a half off the ball. So good coaching there, and Oak Grove calls timeout. So, timeout on the field with the Tigers and Spartans, 14-7, 5:35 to go in the second quarter. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turrentine. Did you know that if your child misses just 2 days of school a month, he or she will miss over 10% of instruction for the entire school year? Those missed days add up, and we're doing our best to counter chronic absenteeism. September is Attendance Awareness Month. We want everybody to be at school on time, all day, every day. Remember, every day in the classroom is a step towards achieving academic goals and a brighter future. All right, 4th down and 4. It looked like they were trying to draw them offsides. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but we'll see what they decide to do here. They're in that kind of no man's land. You're kind of close. You're at the 40, but, boy, I know you don't want to give the ball back to the Spartans there either.
Yeah, I think I certainly think this is a four down territory, and going for it here I think is the right call. I don't know if I wouldn't just try to run it straight at this Pleasant Grove defense, maybe catch them off guard, catch them on their heels when they're expecting something different, and allow them to just run right at them. You've been doing it the whole night.
They do it. Play action. Little screen, and they throw it a little bit too tall to Bonnet. I think he had the first down, but he had to throw it a little higher than he wanted with that rush by the Spartans.
Yeah, I'm still impressed he got that throw off and nearly floated it perfectly. Not into a bad spot. It wasn't going to be a turnover, only where his receiver could get it. Just a little bit too much air underneath it, and now you put your defense in a tough situation. But again, I like the call to go for it. You were moving the ball pretty well. I'm just not sure if I agree with the play call.
Camden Robinson was one of those Spartans that put the pressure on for Pleasant Grove. Now 1st and 10. Moore around the right side in the secondary. 40, 35. Moore still on his feet. He's down to the 24-yard line. Massive gain for Moore.
Yeah, and what should have been an extra 15 yards there at the end, too, as I think that's the only reason he got brought down was by a horse collar. Oh, yeah, I don't know how that one was missed, but a really good run, and that feels like a backbreaker after that 4th down stop. That's a big swing of momentum for the Spartans.
35 yards for Moore. Again, he's got 4 straight games of over 100, 142 last week. Moore again, bounces outside, nothing in the middle. He's kind of liking that right side right now. He's close to another first down on that right end.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of wind coming up in this booth, and I'm starting to think it's just because Colin Moore has run by us a couple of times. Really impressive start here. I think those are his best runs of the night. Obviously, he had the touchdown run, but two long runs. He's starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm right now.
2nd down and 1, football at the 16. They hand to Moore again. He'll try the right side again, but this time runs into a red wave of Tigers before he was drugged down, led by Anthony Pierce, sophomore defensive tackle.
Still going to be enough for a first down, be able to reset downs, maybe open up the playbook a little bit more. I like on 2nd and short when you can take a shot to the end zone and still think that, hey, you can come back and have a 3rd and short. LeBeau opted to just go get the first down and reset, get a new set of downs here from inside the red zone.
So 1st and 10, Pleasant Grove. Football at the 15-yard line. Handoff. Washington makes one man miss. Great cut. That was one of the greatest 1-yard runs, if that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I can say it tonight. He gets the ball, and you know it's him without seeing his number just because of how he shifts with the ball in his hands. He took that handoff and came to a stop because it was about to be a loss of 4. Really impressive play. I think he's moving back out wide now, maybe in the position he feels a little bit better in, and he has man coverage over here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a fade to the left corner.
Freeman looking that way. It's an in route for Washington. Trying to get free, but he's drugged down at the 8-yard line by Carlin, but it's another positive gain of 8 yards.
That's a good throw, really good timing on that route. They have obviously practiced that quite a bit. Only person that he's completed a pass to so far tonight is Washington and Freeman, and the other one was Washington to Freeman.
3rd down and 3. Here's the statistics from 4A. Take a look at Oak Grove, what they've done with their 3-0 start, they've got the 4th-ranked offense in 4A, right behind Pleasant Grove, who they're playing tonight, 42 a game. Defensively, Oak Grove only given up 6, but they've already more than doubled that tonight and could triple it here coming up with a Spartan touchdown.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what we talked about early on about the gap, the difference in tonight's competition compared to early on. I will say I do love seeing New Hope up there on the top of the 4A scoring board.
Why is that?
Because they had 71 in that first game of the year, in that wild game that ended in a Hail Mary for Ohatchee, one of the better games already of the season. And then they lost that game, though, scoring 71 points. So offense isn't everything. You can average 70 a game, and they were still sitting with a 1-1 record.
Fife and those guys, what they have, 80 last week, right?
That was a
78 or 80, one of them.
80 to 78. That set a new
one guy had
record.
10 touchdowns. Set a new high school record.
That's an Auburn commit.
Yeah. 3rd down and 3. Football gets loose. Freeman picks it up somehow, still on his feet, rolling. Boy, he's still running. He might score. That's the wildest touchdown you're going to see from Caleb Freeman with an etch-a-sketch run for 6 after dropping the football.
That was Washington.
It's Washington, you're right.
Everywhere. I don't
Washington
know
at quarterback.
why he even tried to pick up the ball. You're supposed to fall on that thing every single time. Picked it up cleanly, scooped it up, turned around and said, "You know what? I'm going to run 60 total yards. 60 total yards to get a 7-yard touchdown. What a play. What a play by Washington. I'm glad we've talked him up the way that we have in this game so far, because that's the kind of play that we expected him to make, and he did it. That's incredible.
Second time he's been in there for the snap on a 3rd down, right? He's their wildcat guy. I don't see him sneak in there.
I feel wrong writing this into the stats as a 7-yard touchdown run. That doesn't feel like you accomplished everything that actually happened. We'll take a look at it again from a different angle. That ball is bouncing. There are 8 defenders on top of him. He got a fortunate bounce to be able to scoop that ball up. But once he got past that first line of defense, he realized, hey, I only have to make a couple more people miss at this point.
Tramel Washington, who, again, he's a terrific receiver with 18 catches for 286 yards coming in. But he's got a touchdown throw and a wild touchdown run here so far in this game. Chris is on the sideline. Chris, what do you got?
You talk about a wild ride. What looked to be disaster for the Spartans actually turned into just exactly what they were hoping for, which is a touchdown. Actually, the kicking team was on the sideline warming up, so they thought they might have to settle, but they end up with 6. Back to you guys upstairs.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody saw that coming, especially when the snap went through his fingers and that thing bounded back about 25 yards.
That's what I'm saying. The bouncing off that turf was just a little bit too wild and almost too perfect. A fortunate bounce popped right back up into his hands, and once he had it in his hands, I started to think something's about to happen, and sure enough, he made it happen. I kind of wish we could talk to him, get his perspective of that touchdown run.
High pooch kick there, and Oak Grove catches it. No fair catch. Bringing it all the way across the field, and not much happening there. Again, I think more wise decision to run straight up the field instead of across. Wiley Hicks with that return, and that's where the Tigers will set up shop with 3:04 to go. That's not a lot of time for the way they like to play offense.
It's not, and I think that you can still play it's enough time to still play your game. You just have to be a little bit more aware of the clock. Don't let it tick down, to 5 seconds on the play clock when the clock is moving. But you can run your offense and still take your shots in the passing game. I don't think you have to force too much right here because you don't want to give the ball back to Pleasant Grove.
Chapman. Wesson moves from left to right as a tight end. They hand to Yoakum on the left side, and to your point, one of those few outside runs. Plus, he goes out of bounds and stops the clock.
Yeah, I think that's it's the timing and the counter, and that's how you're going to be able to take advantage. They finally saw that Pleasant Grove defense focus in on the box. They went to the far side of the field, plenty of space, big-time run. And now you have an opportunity to score before half.
Official late getting back. I don't know where They were, but handoff this time just stopped right there. Pleasant Grove needed that. Dominic Robinson, the middle linebacker, stopping the Tigers in their tracks, so 2nd and 10. It looks like some Oak Grove guys are putting their hands on their knees. A lot of them, as we talked about, like Yoakum, who made the long run, are two-way players.
Made several plays in the secondary and be able to have the gas to be able to run 20 yards to the far side of the field. I'd be going to the locker room right now if that was me.
Handoff, Jones, left side, again for 2.
Ethan Jones with the rush, brought down by
and
Howard Daniels.
Flagged down, I think.
I believe that's going to be a timeout by
That's
Pleasant
timeout.
Grove.
Pleasant Grove does call timeout to try to save time on the clock here to make it 3rd down and 8 with 2:08 to go in the 3rd quarter.
I like that call by Coach LeBeau. That's nothing new for him. He wants to be aggressive. You play, you make decisions based off trying to win the game, not by trying not to lose. And this isn't, you might be giving Oak Grove more time to score, but you're also giving yourself more time to score. And he's got that. I think that shows confidence in the defense.
Here's some of the games tonight. Fayette County at Fultondale, Gardendale, Jackson, Olin. Some of the others there. Gadsden City, McAdory did not happen, so take that one off. Shades Valley, who we'll have next week with Pinson Valley, but they had to go on the road to Clay Chalkville. A lot of good games in Mortimer Jordan Parker was last night.
Yeah, Parker won that game 46-0. Parker's a very good program. Tough to play.
And some of the others. Minor was off this week on an early off week for the Tigers. 3rd down and 8. Football's just shy of the 47 for the Tigers. They've got to get to the 45 of the Spartans. Chapman drops another screen. That's been effective tonight, but Bonnet is knocked loopy. Immediately coming up hard was Ethan Emerson, the senior. Wow, he came up and made a big play on Bonnet.
Yeah, I think the timing was a little off on that. The snap almost looked like a false start. A little bit of bobble on the catch. Didn't have your lineman out there in time. Set up a big hit. And there's another timeout from Pleasant Grove. Stop the clock, trying to give their offense as much time as possible.
So Pleasant Grove calls time with 1:39 to go. We'll take a break with the team and come back. You're watching the JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week. That was a beautiful look at Pleasant Grove, I think, right there on that last shot. 4th down and 10, and it appears Oak Grove did not have enough guys out there. Now they do as they get set to kick it away. Back deep, it looks like, is Emerson. No, that's actually Washington. It's kicked the other way, away from Washington, which is probably a good idea, and belted down there for Pleasant Grove.
Number 9, Morgan Harris with a return.
Harris with a return of about 6 yards, and that's where Pleasant Grove will have it. 1st and 10 with 1:28 to go from the 31-yard line.
Still one timeout left for Pleasant Grove, I believe, and you're on your own 31, but we've seen how they take shots down the field, and if you're Oak Grove, I think you have to play multiple safeties deep here. You give up the underneath with only one timeout. You let them work the way down the field if they need to. You cannot give up the big play over the top.
Whistle, and play is stopped.
Looks like we had offsides, which is a dead ball penalty.
Offsides, Oak Grove.
In high school football.
So 1st and 5.
It's another one of those penalties I always have to remind myself of every single year. Why'd they blow the whistle? Why wasn't it a free play? Dead ball penalty in high school.
Freeman with Collins flanked to his left. Play action. Looking. Trying to go deep. He's got all day. Decides to run it. He's got room to run. Cuts through. 50 and slides down there. So 19-yard gain for Freeman to the 50-yard line.
Boy, it was fun to watch that play unfold from right here as we could hear the Pleasant Grove coaches telling him to throw the ball.
Actually give him 18 on that as they mark it at the 49. 1st and 10. Throw it out to Collins. He's out there, makes one man miss. Cuts up on a dime fast. Waited for the guy to go past and then cut up straight up field for a 15-yard gain for Collins on the catch.
Catches that well behind the line of scrimmage. Could have been a 5-yard loss. Make one man miss, and suddenly it's a 20-yard gain.
1st and 10. Timeout. Oak Grove.
I think that's a really smart timeout. You got to slow them down a little bit. Get some confidence back in your defense. Let them rest. It's not about timing at this point. It's about making a stop.
And again, we had rain at the first of the game and a lightning delay for about 15 or 20 minutes. Since then, the rain has subsided, and it's a nice, cool night here. But Pleasant Grove has kind of jumped on the unbeaten Tigers of Oak Grove so far. There's Chris Musso trying to get his Tigers fired up. And there you heard the call for the Tigers. 1st and 10 for the Spartans. Football at the 35-yard line. Again, plenty of time for them, 45 seconds to go. Washington, their dangerous receiver and runner, it appears here as he's taking a couple of snaps at quarterback, is far left at the bottom of your screen. Freeman rolls, looks like a hold, and there's a man wide open, Collins. He's at the 25, 20. He's going to run out of bounds. Smart play by Collins, but I think that one's going to come back with a hold.
And as a spot foul, that's going to take him back quite a bit here. Shouldn't be seeing any kind of runoff on the clock, but it was 10 seconds of a play that you will not get back, and that's big time. That makes a big difference right there.
So 10 yards from basically the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 1st down at 20, but the football will be back at the 45-yard line. 32 seconds to go. Spartans on top comfortably, 21-7. Freeman dropped the football, falls on it. He cocked, right, to throw it, and the leather just came out of his hand.
That just slipped right out. Almost looked like a pass with his left hand.
Just one of those deals. Now 2nd down and forever. They got to get to the 25-yard line.
This will be the last play of the half.
Hand off to Collins. 45-40, still on his feet. Now ankle tackle there at the 43-yard line by Yoakum, and that'll do it for the first half. So the Spartans in control, 21-7. As Oak Grove's got to find something here in the second half. We're going to try to get Darryl LeBeau here, the head coach of Pleasant Grove, in just a moment with Chris Osborne, so we'll see how that develops. There's Chris Musso. Got to find some kind of magic for his team coming up here at the half. So Chris making his way over to Darryl, and he's got him now. Chris, what do you got?
All right, we're here with head coach, Coach LeBeau. Coach, you're managing to throw the ball even though there's some wet conditions.
Yeah, we're just trying to take advantage of every break that we get, to make sure that we can run our full offense, whether it's running or throwing it. And God bless us with a little break here and there where it's not too bad, where we could kind of maintain and control the football.
So you were close to disaster, but it ended up with 6. Tell me about that.
Hey, sometimes you got to be happy that you got special ball players. We got to take care of football a little bit better than that, probably take some of that heat off the snap and be able to catch the ball the first way and see if we can not do so much to get in the end zone.
Coach, finally, without tipping your hand, what's the second half look like for you?
Clean up some of the stuff that we're doing, man, and making sure we're communicating on defense, getting lined up right and getting stops and not allowing them to get ahead of the sticks and hopefully going back in and get some things fixed up front, communicate right here at the second half, and hopefully we can control the game and get out of here.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get to your team. Thanks so much for your
All right, that's Chris from the sidelines with Darryl LeBeau. Halftime score, 21-7. Pleasant Grove in control. You watching the JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week. Hang on, we got some halftime entertainment coming up.
Hello, JEFCOED family. We are excited to announce our signature academies. Here's what you can look forward to.
I try to give you a little bit of everything. So I'm really getting the workforce ready. I'm trying to get electricians out of here, industrial maintenance technicians, single pole switch, wire to a receptacle, wire to a light source.
This is a great class to learn how to do things for life.
They will learn how to do some electrical work at home, how to do some of their own plumbing, and how to maintain their yard, shrubbery, and what it is to plant a garden. So there's certain things they learn here that they'll take with them.
That's leaking around there.
This is going to provide students with skills to be able to step into those positions to help out in a market that is definitely hiring.
I like that we do a lot of hands-on activities.
We actually perform experiments that an actual lab technician would do in the lab, or a forensic technician or forensic anthropologist would do out in the real world.
And finally, we want to take a few minutes to spotlight. I do like this class a lot because it's getting information out to our peers, and it's fun. It's not just information, it's also activities. So letting people know, guys, this is a fun production to be in.
Learn that one and then move back to a safe.
I really enjoyed just working with the robots. I loved the robotic arm stuff.
If a student is interested in engineering, if they've been told, every year they're really good at math and science and you need to go into engineering, this is a good place for them to come.
I'm the future of the United States of America.
Leadership is responsibility.
In our course, we teach life skills, and everybody needs that. Once you leave school, you still got to present yourself in a professional manner. You still have to go and learn. And at the same time, you can be a mentor as well as role model.
It helps you get a leg up in whatever, any career, any job. It's got a background and you know what you're doing. It's ready to get you out into the workforce.
I like music technology because I feel like it explains what goes on past the lyrics in songs. I feel like it really helps you understand where the beats come from, how different a song sounds without lyrics.
JEFCOED's signature academies. Come join us.
Our score here, 21-7. Pleasant Grove on top of Oak Grove at our JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week. Let's check out some of the other games from tonight that include our JEFCO schools, our 13 schools across the way.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Parker defeated Moore-Marjorie 46-0. That game happened last night. There were some games moved around across the state this week, but it ended up not affecting Jefferson County outside of the McAdory game that got canceled. They were set to play Gadsden City. That was a non-region game, one of the few non-region games this week. That one, as of right now, will not be made up. Some other scores.
I'm sorry. Gardendale needs a win bad.
Garndale
tonight.
Currently up 21-8.
They need one.
At Jackson Hole, and that would be big for them. Oxford defeating up on Pinson Valley 24-0. Pinson Valley continues to struggle, but Oxford's a very good team. Ramsey had an early lead, 6-0 on Corner. Hueytown up 36-0 on Bryant. And then Clay Chalkville had a 21-0 lead over Shades Valley at halftime. We'll continue to get some of those scores throughout the night, but that's our current halftime updates.
This one, the rain still coming down 21-7. The Battle of the Groves, Pleasant Grove having the best of Oak Grove so far tonight. We'll take a break, come back with the second half kick and much more in the downpour here in Oak Grove. You're watching JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week.
Hello, JEFCOED family. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the teachers of Jefferson County Schools. I appreciate everything that you do and how the commitment and dedication that you give every day that you come to service our children and to service our families. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your relationships that you have formed with our children. And thank you for ensuring that our children are achieving and learning. You are our boots on the ground, and without you, we would not be as successful as we are. And just know that you're loved and you're appreciated by not only your students, your coworkers, the families you serve, but by me. Thank you for everything that you do.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'm Chris Osborne. We've got Coach Chris Muso here, the head coach of Oak Grove. Coach, you're a couple scores down. Tell me what you got to do to get back in this game.
Well, we just got to do what we do and block and make sure we sustain blocks. And so we've given up a few plays on busted play, or a few scores on busted plays. But other than that, I like the effort from our kids. They fought really hard, and we got ourselves in a good position.
Obviously, both teams battling these conditions. How do you get past that? Is it the run game? Is it the pass game, or a combination?
Well, it's a combination. You got to mix it up with them. They're such a good program and good football team. You got to be able to mix it up some.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get back to your team. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Scott, Caleb, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. And Coach Muso certainly can dial up some offense, but I don't know if they can score enough to get back in it if they allow any more touchdowns in this game as that rain comes down. That bodes well for them, running between the tackles like they had great success with, but at the end of the day, they only have one touchdown.
Yeah, I think what's important here, it's big that they are getting the ball first. I say that. Pleasant Grove did open last week's game with an onside kick, so I think Oak Grove has to be maybe prepared. But they're getting the ball first, so there's no reason to panic. I mean, you could have a 6-7 minute drive here. As long as it ends in points, you do not need to be in a panic to score. Run your offense and make things work. Come out with a scripted drive. You had time to prepare this drive, get some points on the board, cut into this lead, and then go from there and see what happens. And he was right. On the defensive side, a couple of Pleasant Grove's touchdowns were busted plays. They had the fake punt that might have been a fake on purpose, might not have been. Maybe there was a lineman downfield. We don't really know with the angle replay that we had.
We didn't see it.
And then the big drop snap that went 30 yards back and was just a great play by Terrell Washington. So he's right. The defense has played well for the most part, but this is just a tough team to stop consistently. So when you put yourself in a 2-touchdown hole, it's tough to come back from.
All right, so Pleasant Grove will kick it off here in the rain again, a steady downpour. It dissipated pretty much most of the first half after the lightning delay, and that's why we're running a little bit behind as far as time-wise. But you can see there a steady downpour coming down right now in the western Birmingham area of Jefferson County. So Pleasant Grove again in the white jerseys, the purple pants and helmets. Will kick it off to Oak Grove in the red. Deep kick. And here come the Tigers. Bringing it, and they're lamb blasted down right before they got to the 20. And that was Evan Carlin bringing it back, but he was knocked out of bounds. And Oak Grove will set up right about the 19, it looks like.
Yeah, great kickoff there. Almost would have thought to let it go. It was going to fly through into the end zone and ended up being a touchback. But he nearly got it back to the 20. Oak Grove had 116 rushing yards in that first half, but you heard Coach say they need to mix it up a little bit more. They only had 2 completions, and both of those completions were on screen passes. Totaled only 13 yards passing. Yes, they moved the ball well running it, but you're going to have to mix in a pass or two to get some scoring drives.
And you could see 6 linemen for Pleasant Grove, and that worked pretty well as they knocked Jones back. Going with 6. They had 4, then they moved it up to 5, and now 6. Colby Hawkins, a senior, leads the way on that one. Here come the Cook twins in to provide more girth on the ends.
Yeah, you see that adjustment from Pleasant Grove. The box looks a little bit more stacked, and with bigger people, take up those linemen, match up the numbers and the size just a little bit more, allow your linebackers and your defensive backs to fill the gaps and make the tackles.
So a loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. Handoff Jones again, left side, and Pleasant Grove stops him again. They'll get positive yardage this time, 1 or 2, but not before Howard Daniels came up, Jacorian Jones and some other guys for the Spartans. So it'll be 3rd down and about 10.
Yeah, got back to the original line of scrimmage, but not much more. And once again, you're sitting at the point where you are in 3rd and long, a situation that Oak Grove does not like to be in. I'd like to see them maybe throw the ball a little bit more on 1st and 2nd downs, to where you don't have to
loosen it up a little bit, right?
Maybe not be so predictable.
3rd down and 10. Whistles blow that dead, and I got
Flags on the play.
either procedure or offsides. We'll see. Procedure against Oak Grove.
And I think that's unfortunate. I don't know if the snap came too quickly before a receiver was set. They had a receiver down here on this near side that was not covered. They could have gotten that snap off. I think maybe they rushed it a little and ended up leading to that penalty. But if they could have legally gotten that snap off, I think they would have ended up picking up that 1st down at least.
So 3rd down at about 15. Football at the 14-yard line, and they've got to get to the 29. Again, that powerful set, 6, 7 on the line, handoff inside, and they'll get 1 or 2. But again, Colby Hawkins, he's led the way on this particular series. Dominic Robinson joining in, and that was not the way you want to start after the halftime for the Tigers trying to get back in this football game.
Yeah, I think earlier on that 4th and 4 that they didn't convert, mentioned that it put a lot of pressure on the defense just with the field position, not being able to pick up a 1st down, and even more so going backwards after, not having a great kick return yourself and not having great field position yourself. You're punting from inside your own 20 now, and these returners are at the 50-yard line. This is going to end up being great field position for Pleasant Grove.
Oh, boy. Lost it, did Polistrini, but he does get away a pretty good kick, and it bounds and it's caught at the 42. And he's still on his feet for Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove's got more long runs all the way back and forth on the field. Flag down on this far side, or on this near side. So we'll see what that's about. But again, about a 35-yard run that goes officially for about 3.
Yeah, I think Coach LeBeau, you could ask him again about that touchdown run that happened earlier. It's impressive to have players like that, but you know what? Other players see that and say, maybe I'm going to take some time to try to return this, and sometimes just take your 2 or 3 yards. He could have picked up that ball and ran forward 3 yards. You would have avoided this penalty, and you'd be at the 45. You were set to have great field position. And, yeah, it's not bad, but that took off about 20 yards that you expected to have.
Block in the back there for Pleasant Grove. Chris on the sidelines. Chris, what do you got?
All right, guys, on the sideline with you, I've got Principal Ray again. Principal Ray, tell me about this incredible student section.
They really just kind of formed themselves this year. They cheer there at every game. They go to the away games as well. They're having a lot of fun all the time.
And Katie's one of the students. You're a senior, right?
Yes, I'm
Tell
senior.
me about the sign and all your classmates up there.
They're great. They've actually been doing such a good job coming. I used to cheer, and we never had a student section, but this year we've just formed it, and they've been super great, and it's been awesome. And this sign we actually got from one of our opponents, and we were like, hey,
All right, and I thought the cowbells at Mississippi State were annoying. Guys, this sign is loud and it is distracting. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Chris, that's the Tigers' den down there. Meanwhile, Pleasant Grove is moving the football here a little bit inside the 40 now for the Tigers.
Yeah, it was a 14-yard run by Colin Moore with an additional 15 yards on a late hit there.
Moore has getting close to 100 yards. He's got 4 straight games of it. He'll only get 2 or 3 there before he was tripped up. But Anthony Pierce, Jackson Bonnet also in on that tackle for the Tigers.
He did pass 100 yards. Good eye, good thought. You kind of had it in your head. He had 92 in that first half. 14 put him over the top on that last run, now up to 107.
So now 5 straight for Colin, who looks like one of the better backs in 4A so far. 2nd down and 9. Freeman, who's a really good sophomore himself, he's so calm. Throws it deep. He's got one-on-one coverage, and it's knocked away. Who else but Washington, who's been in the middle of everything tonight, but another good defensive play by Carlin.
Yeah, that's a good play. Again, I think Freeman just sees him a half step too late. It's not a bad throw, but it's late, and it makes it underthrown, and I think he missed a pretty easy touchdown.
Another flag down. This will go against Pleasant Grove. I didn't catch.
Holding against the Spartans.
It's holding against the Spartans, so it's a spot foul and brings it back to the 48-yard line of Oak Grove. Now the rain stopped again. It just kind of rained at the half.
A lot.
And stopped again, so we'll take it. I'm sure our camera guys who are out there laboring in the rain will take it. 2nd down and 8. Freeman throws it out up top. Good screen up there on a quick opener. And I didn't catch who caught that.
Pass complete.
I think it was Harris.
Harris did catch it.
Jackson Bonnet.
And he gets about 10 or so back. Makes it
3rd
third down and 10 more manageable.
Yeah, those quick throws, you know they like to do those. I think they've maybe mixed in more deep shots than they really wanted to. Do some of those quick screen passes and the run plays to open up the deeper passes.
Boy, there's a nice play in the slot. Freeman rode the RPO and then kind of threw across his body back left to number 6 for Pleasant Grove, and that's Jaden Walton, the senior.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a true RPO, if Coach LeBeau gives that kind of freedom to his quarterback, but that was really impressive. That ball was pretty deep into the running back's stomach.
Didn't he?
And he pulled that ball, and usually on those RPOs you think it's maybe a quick little screen. That's 10 yards down the field to be able to pick up a 3rd and long.
1st down and 10. Handoff conventionally to Moore, but he stopped right there. Pretty good penetration there from some of the Tigers. And it looked like Pierce was in there, number 58.
That's Moore's 14th carry tonight. That is the first one that he's been tackled at the line of scrimmage or behind it. First time they've been able to get a tackle for a loss on him in a big spot.
Freeman, another ball fake, throws it, diving for it is Zion Barney, but a little too far out. That's the 2nd time Barney's had to try to reach out and grab it, and he just the timing off a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that people don't talk a lot about in the RPO game. The receivers have to stay ready. They have to stay ready even if they expect it to be a run. You got to run that route still full speed, and I think he might have slowed down a touch with the step. Freeman led him a little bit too much, forced the dive, forced the incompletion.
Definitely timing there. Now they throw the screen back to Washington. He's got a bevy of blockers. He's in the secondary. Look at the footwork. Justin Timberlake footwork, touchdown for Washington. Again, he came in with 15 catches, 286 yards tonight, and he scored touchdowns all kind of ways tonight.
I seriously, I don't know how many times we can bring this kid up in one game. Our cameramen are having problems keeping up with it. That's what I can't even keep up with it where the ball is. That is an incredible run after the catch, and I want to try to find in the record book somewhere how many times this has happened, because Tramel Washington now has a passing, a rushing, and a receiving touchdown all in the same game. Talking like Christian McCaffrey level stuff tonight. Very impressive game for him.
Yeah, Tramel, a senior. Again, 286 yards coming in. I don't know what he's got tonight receiving, but probably close to 100. He's got several passing, and to your point, a touchdown every way imaginable. Take another look here.
Another RPO.
He
Swing
should
out
be
to the
tackled right
I
there.
mean,
Right there.
that frame, we could get a freeze frame of him around the 15-yard line, and he is staring, looking into the eyes of about 6 Oak Grove defenders, and somehow he cuts it back all the way across, makes it into the other end zone. Just a really impressive play, one of many that he's had so far tonight. And yes, that puts him at 109 receiving yards tonight, along with a 48-yard passing touchdown and a 7-yard rushing touchdown.
So 28-7, Pleasant Grove over Oak Grove tonight, and been in control since they scored on their very first touchdown drive. So Oak Grove's got their work cut out. Now the rain starts again, as you see.
I think Oak Grove kind of wish it had started when that couple of those passes were thrown a little bit earlier. Now their offense is going to have to deal with it. And this is a different situation than when you were getting the ball first, down 2 scores. I do think you have to have a sense of urgency now. Again, I'd like to see them throw the ball on first or second down. Don't be so predictable. You don't want to have 2 runs, be in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 situation, and then have to throw it. You really need to score on this drive to stay in this game.
And it could be a situation where he's saying, let's just clean it up. Let's just do what we do and see what happens. The worst thing that happens is you get some good reps against a very good football team to get ready for the rest of your schedule. So after the kickoff, we'll check in with Chris Osborne again. Pleasant Grove back for the kick, leading by 3 touchdowns with 6:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. Another high, lazy kick. Actually will hit the ground and deadened there. Finally picked up by Yoakum, or is it Carlin? I think Carlin picked it up, and it didn't look like he wanted to have any part of it. Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris, what do you got?
Guys, what we're seeing is that the Spartans are shifty. There multiple times have been, looks like they're going to get stopped in the backfield for a loss, and they are finding ways to cash in. But you got to give credit to the guys in the trenches, because you're not seeing a lot of blocking in the back or holding on these plays where they completely reverse the field. Back to you up top.
They're playing fairly clean. Been a few penalties, but certainly has been a pretty clean game for Pleasant Grove, and certainly really good defensively lately as they've added that additional defensive lineman up there, Caleb, to try to take it away. I don't think it's any big secret what Oak Grove wants to do, and Darrell LeBeau finally said, let's just put 6 on the line.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't maybe come in with a quicker adjustment in case they were getting ran on, but at the same time, their defense only gave up 1 score in that first half. Obviously, Oak Grove was moving the ball more. But they've loaded the box, and they've made sure that they weren't going to give up anything else in this half. And so far, so good.
Yeah, they got 9 in the box, 5 on the line now, and another tackle by Camden Robinson, the senior defensive tackle, number 31, right there. So you got 9 in the box, and only 2 guys playing 10, 12 yards off the ball. That's going to be tough sledding for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think you once you get in person, you see a little bit more on how far a quarterback can throw, and you match up your defensive backs and see how they can play in man coverage. If you're confident in that, you load up the box, then you let them go to work.
Chapman going downfield. That's just a Hail Mary kind of thing. Carly caught that football. How about that?
That is a one-handed catch around a defender. We're going to get a great look at it right here. Look at this play.
Watch the slowdown.
That is
what a great play.
Remarkable.
Great camera work by Carson, our sideline, and Jake, our slow-mo. Beautiful play. Carlin with a one-handed grab from Chapman. And to your point, let's take a shot and loosen it up a little bit.
Well, again, love to see it on first or second down. You might not have had as much as tight coverage over there, but my goodness, what a catch. We've seen a couple of plays in this game alone that I'm not sure we're going to see again all season. Really impressive skill.
False start against the Tigers, and
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hungry
boy,
tonight,
that's got to drive Musso crazy.
Our concession stand has
You get
sausage dogs with peppers and onions and crispy
You get a
chicken salad
catch like that,
and ranch
a little
or honey
momentum,
mustard.
and then shoot yourself in the foot with a 5-yard penalty, and 5 yards with the way you run offense is pretty substantial.
I will say it was a 5-yard penalty, and I'm not sure anyone else notices, but that was marked off 4 yards, and it's 1st and 14.
Handoff up the middle. It'll get to the 40, only about a yard there. To your point, it is 13 yards for a first down.
Brought down by Kobe Hawkins.
The rain has stopped again. Off and on.
13.
As long as it is off while we walk to our car, while we load up, while we break down, that's what we care about.
Second down and 13 at the 40. Chapman throws a little out route, and that won't pick up a lot, but it was incomplete anyway. Right there on the coverage.
I think
it was Howard Daniels, so it wasn't going to happen much anyway, right?
Turned his head a little bit too quick there as we see umbrellas go back up again. Rain comes up out of nowhere sometimes around here. Look at all those.
Yep. It goes from not raining to steady rain in the heartbeat. Pleasant Grove on top by 3 touchdowns. 4:06 to go in the third.
This might be the hardest rain we've seen a play happen in so far tonight.
Yoakum around left end, and he's got nowhere to go. Dominic Robinson again diving through to knock him down. So it's 4th down and 14. And now you got to worry about ball security even if you try to punt it.
And I think you have to punt it right here, but I think you got to give credit to Pleasant Grove's coaching staff for the adjustments they made, figuring out a way to make sure you shore up the middle with the extra linemen, but then keeping players on the edge to avoid those counters. And they've really pretty much shut up the Oak Grove running game pretty much the entire second half.
Palestrini back to kick. He's had a good night kicking for the Tigers. Dropped the football there and has to fall on it. Not much you can do there. It's just treacherous out there. And I don't know if it wasn't a perfect snap, but I don't know. I think he catches it in a normal weather situation.
Yeah, it's your point. That's it's 4th and 18 at that point. You can't really go for it. But if you go for it and throw an incomplete pass, you get those 15 yards back, even if you don't convert. So you just snap the ball back, you lose it back there. Pleasant Grove has an opportunity to really, really seal this thing.
Fans braving the rain to stay out here and cheer on their Tigers. Freeman back at quarterback for Pleasant Grove. Handed to Moore, and he's got Moore on the left side, adding to that 100-plus total he's got going on tonight. And I think Darrell LeBeau will be fine just to run some clock, run some plays here, and try to score again.
To be 2nd and 4 for the Spartans.
2nd down and 4.
Wow.
Moore, handoff inside again, broke 3, ran over one linebacker, and got down to the 10-yard line. Palestrini came up and hit him, but he traded paint and then was left in his wake as Moore got about 4 or 5 more.
Yeah, really impressive run, being able to get that first down, too. As I said, they're really looking to they're not taking their foot off the gas here at all, trying to finish this thing off.
Moore around the left side, and Gang tackled, which is not a bad idea, at the 5 there. Brooks helped bring it down. Seems like they're snapping it awfully early, though.
They are a little
taking
bit.
their time, you know? Because there's 30 on the play clock right now, and they're ready to go. But sometimes that's what they
get a big play. They like to hurry up.
And that's their offense.
That is their offense.
They don't normally wait around, and they'll snap it with about 18. Well, now, as I say that, he's letting it melt down a little bit. Boy, it's almost a high snap. Hand to Moore. Not much happening in the middle. Good play there. Brooks, Pierce, some others coming in.
No.
And what do we have here?
Oh, no. Yeah, we won't have the camera on that one.
And we got a dislocated ankle, it looks like. So we'll get the camera off of that as youngster is there. We'll take a break and come back in the rain here at Oak Grove.
Ambulance,
Pleasant Grove on top,
field.
28-7. You're watching JEFCOED Game of the Week.
Hello, JEFCOED family. This year, we are seizing the day to shape the future. You'll see that message on our social media channels, our website, and signs around your school. But what exactly does it mean? At JEFCOED, we're all about offering numerous opportunities to our students. From our highly rated international baccalaureate school, to our signature academies, to our career tech and fine arts programs, to our elementary theme schools. But opportunities are only good if students take advantage of them and succeed. This year's theme embodies that message. We're looking to seize the day, every day, and capitalize on every opportunity in front of us. It's all in an effort to make sure our students become productive citizens and leaders that will make a difference and shape the future. It's a mindset. It's our mission. It's what we believe. Seize the day, shape the future. This is JEFCOED.
Injury timeout here at Oak Grove. A bad situation on the field as you see the medical personnel gathering around the injured Pleasant Grove Spartan. Chris Osborne's down there. Chris, what do you got?
Guys, obviously a very serious situation on the field. The announcers called for the medics to come over immediately. Both teams, players that were on the field were visibly shaken. Obviously, Oak Grove here taking a knee out of respect to the player that's down, and he's being attended to at this point in time. We hope that it's nothing too serious, but obviously this is football. We understand that, injuries do happen, but we wish the best for this young man. We hope that he's okay. Our thoughts and prayers are going to be with him, but we're going to let them do what they do on the field, and hopefully we'll be back to play, and this man will be back in shape and making a full recovery soon. Again, a very serious injury on the field. Medics are attending to him. We hope that this player will be okay. Back to you guys upstairs.
The good news is it's not a head injury or anything. We saw the injury, and it was at least probably a dislocation, if not something worse. But they will take care of that young man, and that's why everybody's on the knee and giving him their thoughts and prayers right now. So we're in a injury timeout here at Oak Grove with Pleasant Grove winning 28-7 with 1:38 to go in the third quarter. Another break and much more to come. You're watching the JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week.
Hello, JEFCOED family. We are excited to announce our signature academies. Here's what you can look forward to.
I try to give you a little bit of everything. So I'm really getting the workforce ready. We're trying to get electricians out of here, industrial maintenance technicians, single pole switch, wired to a receptacle, wired to a light source.
This is a great class to learn how to do things for life.
They will learn how to do some electrical work at home, how to do some of their own plumbing, and how to maintain their yard, shrubbery, and what it is to plant a garden. So there's certain things they learn here that they'll take with them.
That's leaking around there. This is going to provide students with skills to be able to step into those positions to help out in a market that is definitely hiring.
I like that we do a lot of hands-on activities.
We actually perform experiments that an actual lab technician would do in the lab, or a forensic technician or forensic anthropologist would do out in the real world.
And finally, we want to take a few minutes to spotlight. I do like this class a lot because it's getting information out to our peers, and it's fun. It's not just information, it's also activities. So letting people know guys, this is a fun production to be in.
Learn that one and then move back to a safe.
I really enjoyed just working with the robots. I loved the robotic arm stuff.
If a student is interested in engineering, if they've been told, you know, every year they're really good at math and science and you need to go into engineering, this is a good place for them to come.
I'm the future of the United States of America.
Leadership is responsibility.
In our course, we teach life skills, and everybody needs that. You know, once you leave school, you still got to present yourself in a professional manner. You still have to go and learn. And at the same time, you can be a mentor as well as role model.
It helps you get a leg up in whatever, any career, any job. It's got a background and you know what you're doing. It's ready to get you out to the workforce.
I like music technology because I feel like it explains what goes on past the lyrics in songs. I feel like it really helps you understand, like, you know, where the beats come from, you know, how different a song sounds without lyrics.
JEFCOED Signature Academies. Come join us.
Back to a very somber and silent Oak Grove Stadium here. The crowd kneeling in respect for the injured player for Pleasant Grove, and we still don't have a name or number. You can see the Pleasant Grove Spartan team looking on for their teammate with thoughts going out there. Tons of medical personnel on the field surrounding the players. They will get him stable, I'm sure, and take him somewhere and get him examined as quickly as possible. But the Oak Grove medical staff as well as Pleasant Grove all went out there very quickly. So he was over there not obviously writhing in pain, but they got out there very, very quickly to him to attend to his injury.
Yeah, I think it was the reaction from players on both sides that they got to the sideline so quickly. You know, you see something like that, you don't see it very often, especially one of those bad what looked like a bad leg injury. Now Pleasant Grove's players are lining up over there in the corner of the end zone, ready to say something to their friend and teammate as they go off the field here. As it looks like they're about to load him into the ambulance.
Yeah, they got him on a stretcher. There's the crowd. And I'm sure his teammates will go over and give him a high five there. As you'll see, again, we don't know his number. We don't know if he's a lineman or whatever. And there's his team giving him all the love that they can as he'll get loaded into the waiting ambulance that is over outside the track, and get him over there and get him examined as quickly as possible. So, somber moment here at a game that is pretty close to being put to bed, 28-7. If Pleasant Grove scores here, to your point, it might be definitely out of reach, barring some bizarre circumstances. And we think the injured player is Caleb Rose, the senior left tackle. Caleb Rose, we think, is the injured player that they're loading up right there into the ambulance. So tough break for him. Hopefully it's a dislocation, not a fracture or anything like that. That's going to be bad enough, but we'll just have to wait and see what the injury update is on Caleb, and our thoughts and prayers to him and his family in this tough night in the rain here.
Yeah, it was one of those plays and one of those injuries. I think his teammates reacted more than he did. He kind of just was sitting there looking at it, probably in shock of that kind of injury. So certainly a tough moment in that kind of game.
So Pleasant Grove takes back over 3rd and 4. Freeman hands to Moore. He's inside, and he's drugged down at the 2 or 3. It's hard to just jump right back into playing football
Moore with the rush up the middle,
after that,
but
that's what they got to do. So it's 4th down and 1.
That's going to bring up 4th down for the Spartans.
So it's so close you probably go for it here. That doesn't mean Pleasant Grove's rubbing it in the face. It's just what you do, running your normal offense and running a normal game here regardless of the score.
And again, this is still the third quarter. I think the rain and the energy right now makes it feel a little bit more out of hand, but there's a lot of football left.
Moore goes and stretches for the end zone.
Moore with the rush, brought down by Jackson Bonnet.
I think he's going
to
have a first down, but he's going to be short of the goal line.
We have an unenthusiastic referee crew that very slow to respond. I was waiting for somebody to throw their hands up, but they didn't. But it will be first down inside the 1. Boy, you can't get closer to the end zone than that.
Timeout call by Pleasant Grove. This
Pleasant
timeout
Grove.
is brought to you by Jeffrey Solomon.
I'd love to get a shot of that football right now. It almost looks like it's in the end zone from my point of view.
I thought he was in the end zone when he ran it, but
get a shot down the goal line at the 1 yard line. I want to see how close that ball is.
The concession stand now has
28-7 Pleasant Grove
and hamburgers if you're still hungry.
on top of Oak Grove and about a mere inches away from making it 35-7. Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sidelines. Chris.
So an update on the injured player, Caleb Rose, offensive lineman, looks to have suffered a serious ankle injury, probably a break. He's loaded into the ambulance. Parents are by his side. His teammates were lining the gate as he was wheeled off, wishing him well, and they said that they were going to play for him. So we're certainly wishing Caleb the best, he and his family, and we'll throw it back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Freeman just goes in. That's maybe the easiest touchdown he'll ever see to make that 34-7. And a very unenthusiastic reception on both sides after that score.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where if you get a clean snap, you're going to score a touchdown, especially for a team that doesn't take a lot of snaps under center. I think from a coaching perspective, you like to know that you can pull that off in that kind of moment. Make it as easy as it looked.
(34-7) now, the score, and Pleasant Grove running a late player out there on the end. And boy, the ball just squibbed through, and that's not going to work. Palestrini comes in and downs it, but that'll be it. 34-7. Next week, we had a Battle of the Groves tonight. Next week is a Battle of the Valleys. Pinson Valley will invade Shades Valley in our game of the week. Should be a good one. So, the Indians and the Mounties right here with pregame at 6:40 and kickoff at 7 o'clock right here. You can obviously see it on Apple TV, your Fire TV, Roku, and all the channels on JEFCOED.com/TV. Rain coming down again.
We've had a few lopsided games by the time the fourth quarter arrived so far this season on our game of the week. But this, I don't know. I think with the rain, obviously that injury, it just feels a little different. The energy has really been sucked out of the stadium.
Yeah.
For a region rivalry kind of game, with still 12 minutes of football left.
They haven't played since 2001, but proximity-wise, certainly. Very, very close, obviously.
Drove through Pleasant Grove to get here.
Yeah. So there's the kick. Carlin's got it at about the 6, running straight at the middle, kind of skating on this uncertain turf.
Carlin with a return.
And he'll be stopped at about the 22-yard line, and that's where Noah Chapman and some of his offensive mates for the Tigers. Now, the Tigers really have played better than their 7 points have indicated, I think. They've had a couple of good drives.
Just 10 from the 22.
Mistakes and some big plays by Pleasant Grove. And Pleasant Grove certainly dominated the game, but it might not be this big a bulge here as Oak Grove is looking to get something going. But since the Spartans have put 5 or 6 on the line, not much has happened.
Yeah, and I think that I don't think we can talk about it enough, the adjustments that Pleasant Grove coaches made at halftime, whether it's the extra person on the line, whether it's how they play the edges, whether it's how they read the handoffs. Maybe eventually you just saw all there was to see and you figured it out.
All right, end of 3, 34-7, Pleasant Grove in control. We'll take a break, come back with the final quarter. You're watching the Jefferson County Education TV Game of the Week.
It's an underrated job for everybody else, but for us, it's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile. making a difference in their lives. You know, kids will remember some teachers, but they'll usually always remember their bus driver because the bus driver's with them for so long. I mean, so many years of their life.
And we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. Second down for the Oak Grove Tigers. Again, they're in the red with the black. If you're just joining us, Pleasant Grove in control in the white jerseys and purple helmets. And here come the Tigers, who again have been pretty successful moving the football, but just not enough. Here's one of the better runs. A break into the secondary is Levi Valentine. And he'll be drugged down finally at the 31. Looks like about a 44-yard gain. Their best play by far, right?
Oh, yeah, easily. And I think it's funny, before that snap, I was trying to get in a stat, the adjustments that Pleasant Grove made to the run defense. Oak Grove had -8 rushing yards in the third quarter. And then suddenly they break that. That's a big difference.
Handoff inside. Is that Bonnet, I think, had the football, and he might get 2 up the middle. But they've just decided to go straight ahead. Starting the game, they were going side to side and not outrunning the speed of Pleasant Grove. And then they found that success putting a lot of bodies on the offensive line and moving it, but just not enough to put more than 7 on the board.
Yeah, I don't know if that was catching Pleasant Grove off guard. They got a little too comfortable. I don't know. A really couple of good runs. And
Valentine looked like he was going to do it again, but he ran into Colby Hawkins, the senior, who's had a pretty good game.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard. You could hear that is
3rd and 5 for the Tigers.
I believe there's rules about picking someone up and falling on them, but as long as you don't drive them into the ground, I think that's a clean tackle. It stopped him in his tracks, a guy who just had a 45-yard run.
3rd down and 5. New quarterback in, Graham. He throws and a little bit too far in front as Daniels there to defend. And I didn't notice.
That's going to bring up 4th down.
George Dorman, I should say, not Graham. George Dorman is in as the quarterback for Oak Grove right now. So Chapman out, the junior, and the junior Dorman is in.
Yeah, I don't think Chapman necessarily had a bad game. I don't think this was a decision made because he wasn't controlling the offense by any means. I mean, I imagine it's a lot to keep track of those handoffs in the backfield. He did fine with it, but maybe a move just for the fourth quarter.
And a lot of backups are in. The football looked like it was almost dropped. Dorman runs right into the tackler, right into the arms. If he had cut up field, he'd have had more success, but he ran right into the defensive end's arms, and Cook didn't have a chance blocking him.
No chance blocking him there. Good blitz and a good pickup. He didn't even have time for a play to develop to be able to pick that first down up, and another turnover on downs now. And because of the 12-yard loss, more good field position for Pleasant Grove.
So it'll be first down for Pleasant Grove, as that was a 4th down play for Oak Grove. And you might as well play, get some backups, some valuable experience and time. And here come the Spartans. Looks like their first team, well, some of their first team linemen are in there. I see Daniel Cole, a senior, and some other guys. Freeman's certainly still in there, and so is Collins. So there's a face mask and no flag on that one.
Up the middle, brought down by Connor Brooks.
Looked like Brooks grabbed the face mask of Collins, or at least the right side of the helmet. Take a look right coming up here.
I think you're going to see it pretty clearly from this angle. Yeah, that
twisted his head.
I'm not sure how the official on the near sideline missed that one. He kept his. I don't think you like to see plays like that. I'm very surprised that wasn't caught or thrown a flag, either during the play or what happened after. Still an 8-yard run.
2nd down and 2. Handoff, Collins, and belted down pretty quickly there. Nice play defensively. Jackson Hyde, a sophomore linebacker, number 40, stepping up there, Caleb.
And Ethan Jones.
Good play. Like I said, he has not been tackled at the line of scrimmage or certainly behind it very often. So getting Colin Moore down right there, that's a good defensive play.
And again, it's kind of the life and the air of the stadium has been taken out with the injury to Caleb Rose, the offensive lineman for Pleasant Grove. And now the Spartans letting the clock run down. This is what I thought they would do earlier, but they're certainly doing it here as they'll take a snap with the under 5. And football loose. Did Oak Grove get it? And they did. Looks like Wesson fell on it.
There.
That ball never made it.
Griffin Wesson with a fumble recovery.
To anybody.
Yeah.
We didn't even see it on the replay.
Nobody dropped it, it looked like.
It had to have just slipped out of the center stand going back and just kind of rolled on the ground. Oak Grove gets a defensive break that, they probably could have used a quarter ago, 2 quarters ago, but they'll certainly take it. Their best field position of the night by far.
So Dorman still in at quarterback. 1st and 10. Handoff inside and just thrown backwards.
Brooks Coven with a rush up the middle.
That's number 5.
53, Carson Colson.
Colson.
Gain of 1 on the play to be
got 1
for the Tigers from the.
There's the big freshman tackle, 76 Cook and 77 Cook. The guys that look just alike on the ends, they're brothers, they're freshmen. I'm going to assume they're twins.
I think you got to feel pretty good
about that assumption.
About having 2 guys like that when you run an offense like this.
Dorman is now going backwards, and he is sacked. Camden Robinson
brought down in the backfield
still in at defensive tackle for Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, they're having a tough time giving enough time to even attempt a pass. It's 2 sacks, losing 21 yards on the last couple of possessions. Really taking back without that 41 or that 45
it'll be 3rd and 18
yard run earlier. They are now at negative 22 rushing yards in the second half.
3rd and 18 for Oak Grove Tigers. Handoff around the right end and not much happening there. Spartans just all over the place. Again, a lot of starters still in there for Pleasant Grove. I'm a little bit surprised with the injury to Rose. The game's not in doubt, 34-7, but Darrell LeBeau is going with his starters, a lot of them on the defensive line and the offensive line. So,
yeah, I think every coach would tell you can't play scared of injury, or then you would get injured. I'm sure that they usually go into games with certain situations and certain times that you make that change, and I still think 7 minutes to go. You get that stop, you probably feel good. But you get that stop, and now you feel like you have this game won, and I think you start to see changes coming up on the upcoming possessions.
Play clock at 0, and now they finally blow it dead. Not many people paying attention.
Might be a good thing.
Delay of game on Oak Grove. And that'll back them up 5.
Delay of game against the Tigers.
Palestrini will be on to kick. Again, he's kicked pretty well tonight for Oak Grove. Left-footed, I should say, kicker. And a little directional kick. And it is caught and down at the 31. Well, we're proud of our superintendent, Dr. Walter Godsland. He just keeps racking up awards. Last week it was the Cognia Visionary Leadership Award. This week, Dr. G was named District 5 Superintendent of the Year. There he is with Kay Ivey, our governor. That puts him in the running for State Superintendent of the Year, as awarded by the School Superintendents of Alabama. So congrats again to our boss, Dr. Gonsolin. Good stuff there. 1st and 10, Pleasant Grove. Freeman still in there. With 5:58 to go. Backup running backs now carrying it. and that's number 12, very speedy player. And he's still on the go, and he's going to score a touchdown. How about that?
Wow.
69 yards.
Zion Barney with a rush.
Zion Barney, that's who they've missed on a couple of slants. This time they hand it off to him, and they go, well, we're going to just give you the ball. How about that?
And it worked. I think that might be one of those reasons why you keep your quarterback in there. Make sure there's clean snaps, clean handoffs. He's not going to take hits, and he went down that sideline, and I think he learned a thing or two from Jamel Washington on those cuts to be able to get back and go across the other quarters. Got some downfield blocking.
Yeah.
Really impressive run.
No long run happens without good downfield blocking by wide receivers. So let's give some love to Christian Robinson, the senior, down there blocking for the Spartans at the wide receiver slot. Kick is up. It is good. Timeout on the field, 41-7.
With 4:47 left.
And here's the replay again. Watch your man
two receivers
score it, and he's a small, diminutive guy, but he can really run, huh?
Two receivers in front of him, being able to stay in front of him, really, really good play all the way around. Impressive run. A run that we thought, he might have stepped down the far sideline, 10-yard gain, thought it might have been over. You look back up, and he's 20 yards down the field.
There's Zion trying to get his breath over there. Clock running now. Running clock with the score. 41-7. So Pleasant Grove taking their time to get out here. And this one's in the bag and control. Pleasant Grove, really good team in 5A, obviously for years now under Darrell LeBeau at 67-15. And now he'll be 68-15, and stepping down to 4A. They're a very dangerous team, and their only loss this year is to 6A McAdory, and that was a 3-point game.
Yeah, a really good.
And we saw McAdory;
really
they're pretty
game.
good.
I think Pleasant Grove's got to be feeling pretty good hitting this midseason stretch.
Yes,
getting to 2-0 in region play, going after that region title this year. Obviously, they have sights on a blue map, but they got to feel pretty good about this performance in every aspect.
Yeah. And I think it's Jones on that return. Bringing it back. So Oak Grove a little battered and bruised, but they'll just regroup because they were 3-0 coming in, and certainly still in the hunt for a playoff spot here in the Region 4 of 4A.
Yeah,
First and 10. They just got to get some things cleaned up, and tonight was just one of those nights.
Yeah, this is going to feel defeating because of the fact you've been waiting a while. You've seen all that success Pleasant Grove's had over the past few years. Hadn't had a shot at them. You get your shot at them, and it goes maybe how some people expected it to. But obviously, Oak Grove's in a position where they are going to be 3-1 with a 1-1 record in region play, and that's still a fine spot to be in with a lot of football in front of you.
Valentine runs it and gets to the 33-yard line, and we'll see if it's Pleasant Grove's ball or not. I think they took it away from him after he was on the ground.
I think
meanwhile, the clock continues to melt away.
I think they might have actually had that ball stripped before he hit the ground, but I think the forward progress might have been stopped. He was really getting after it right there, and that ball comes out. You could see 26 get loose.
His knee was on the ground, however, so who knows? They called it down, right?
They called it dead. Maybe in a closer game, that would have been a more contentious moment.
Right. At this point, the clock's running.
Let's get the next
That's
snap
right.
in.
So 3rd down and 2. And again, I can't get over the size of the Cook boys. I mean, that's some large boys.
I don't want to say that transfers happen, but if I was another coach at a bigger school, I'd be here thinking, what can we do with them in 3 years?
Yeah. True freshmen, and they played some in the game when they were going with those heavy line sets.
And you know what Russo's saying is that what can I do with them in this running offense over the next 4 years? He's got to be feeling pretty good about where his offensive line is at.
Absolutely.
That first down brought to you by Fitness 1440 Hueytown. Offering group classes, personal training, child care, smoothie bar.
So clock melting away as, again, the clock's just running, and Oak Grove just running their offense. Not in a big hurry. Valentine again on the same play, and it's worked pretty well, really. I mean, He gets about 5 or 6 on that left side. Pleasant Grove's got a bunch of backup young players in there now getting their experience.
That's how you celebrate right there on the sideline. Pleasant Grove having some fun. You win the Battle of the Groves, first time you've seen the Battle of the Groves for a couple of decades, and you win it in this fashion. I understand some dance moves on the sideline.
Oh, there's a loose ball, but Valentine falls on it a couple of yards back. And again, there's no rain at this moment, but ball on the turf still wet and slippery out there. That might be our last snap of the game, as we're inside 20, and they do not have to snap it. And I think that's going to do it tonight. Pleasant Grove, pretty strong performance
please make sure that
in the rain.
Trash tonight,
41-7
all around the stadium.
as both teams will get in lines and shake each other's hand, as the sportsmanship always done at the end of the game here. And the Spartans come on the road and get a pretty convincing win against Oak Grove.
Yeah, I think that's a really impressive win from Pleasant Grove. I think there might have been some heads that turned at that McAdory defeat. Maybe you thought maybe this team isn't as good as past years, and I think that might be the case, but I think that more so tells you how good those Pleasant Grove teams were a couple of years ago. So I certainly still will tab them as one of my favorites to at least make a trip to the semifinals in Class 4A this year.
We'll take a break, come back with some post-game interviews and much more. You're watching the JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week.
Hello, JEFCOED family. This year, we are seizing a day to shape the future. You'll see that message on our social media channels, our website, and signs around your school. But what exactly does it mean? At JEFCOED, we're all about offering numerous opportunities to our students, from our highly rated international baccalaureate school, to our signature academies, to our career tech and fine arts programs, to our elementary theme schools. But opportunities are only good if students take advantage of them and succeed. This year's theme embodies that message. We're looking to seize the day, every day, and capitalize on every opportunity in front of us. It's all in an effort to make sure our students become productive citizens and leaders that will make a difference and shape the future. It's a mindset. It's our mission. It's what we believe. Seize the day, shape the future. This is JEFCOED.
Welcome back to Oak Grove, and the team's still exchanging pleasantries after the 41-7 win Pleasant Grove over Oak Grove here in Region 4 play. And we've got the post-game interview with Darryl LeBeau. Chris Osborne's down there. Chris, what do you got?
All right, down on the field, 41-7, a convincing win. Coach, you're in area play. Tell me about tonight.
Through the circumstances and situation this week, I reminded the guys when the whistle blow, it's still a football game. They got to be played, and man, I'm appreciative of them. Thankful for their effort tonight. Proud of them, the way they came out to play for their brother tonight. We got to pick each other up and lean on each other. Tomorrow's going to be tough, with the funeral and everything. But, man, I'm proud of my guys, man. The way that they came out and fought, praying that some of these guys are that's banged up a little bit can get healthy fast, man. But, each week can get a win in the region, man. That's a good week.
Coach, impact player Rose went out with a pretty gruesome injury. How do you bounce back from that? Do you have guys to step up?
Don't want to be disconcerting, but, it's next man up. He's a senior, been in the program for the past 4 years, man, and it's tough to lose a young man like that, but next man up. We got to make sure that we're prepared and get the next man ready to go.
Coach, I know this has been an emotional week. Tell us a little bit about the player that you lost.
Man, Lyndon was a heck of a kid. Unfortunately that he's no longer here with us, man, but, God is still good. We're praying for his family and praying with their family, and praying that these guys could continue on leaning on each other and continue on growing and remembering him throughout this season.
Coach, I know you personally. I know this more than football. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you and your team and their families.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Moment of silence here as both teams gathered at midfield, and Chris Musso sharing a word, wanted to share a word with Pleasant Grove's team as well as his own team, and this is a pretty poignant and touching moment between two competitive football teams that just played a football game, but realizing the end result was much bigger and some certain things happened this week. And I think that's probably the kind of message Chris Musso is wanting to convey right now, the Oak Grove football coach.
Rest of the way, and you know, this game, you're gonna play against guys on Friday nights. You're gonna run into them later on in life, and you know, it's a brotherhood, man. Playing this game is a phenomenal thing, and there's a lot of people that wish they could play, and you're one of the few and the privileged that get an opportunity to play. So we're gonna wish you guys good luck. I'm gonna pray for that young man, pray for your community, and just everybody grab somebody real quick if you're okay with that, and we'll take care of it from there. Got it? Dear Lord Jesus, I just come to you. I thank you for this day. I thank you for every person that's on this field. Dear God, I just lift them all up to you. I just pray, Heavenly Father, for the young man that got hurt tonight. I just lift him up, lift his family up to you. I lift this whole Pleasant Grove team up. Lord, I know that they've been through some things. Lord, I just ask that you be with them and guide them as they go on their journey. Lord, I ask that you be with the Oak Grove players. I just thank you for each one of them. I'm so thankful and honored to get to coach them. And Lord, I just pray for the soul of everybody on this field. I just pray, Heavenly Father, that any of them that don't know you, they stay, and we'll visit them to you right now. God, we just love you, and we thank you for allowing us to play this game. We're going to give you glory and honor for everything. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Hey, we'll get a brotherhood breakdown. If you haven't met Jesus, stay right here, we'll do it. Can I bring it down?
And that's Chris Musso, who prayed for the Pleasant Grove team. Again, a tough week for them, Caleb, just to even show up out here and play a football game. Final thought from you before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I do think that that this Pleasant Grove team, obviously with what they've been through, is something that they hopefully don't ever experience again, and it's something that they'll get to be together for, and being able to be out here on a field, and obviously getting the win is great, but it was about coming out here and being together as a team again. And you heard Coach LeBeau talk about the funeral tomorrow and how it's certainly going to be a tough day, but being able to get out here and play as a team and play for Lyndon Kynes and what they accomplished for him is what they'll tell you. And I think that's certainly going to be a special moment that they got to be together for. And I think that's a big thing that high school football is all about.
All right, before we go and tell you about next week, give us an update. A pretty surprising score with Corner and Ramsey.
Yes, that's one of the final scores that we have in already. Corner defeated Ramsey 22-8, and obviously name-wise, that's a big upset. That was
huge.
Number 9 Ramsey against number 10 Corner. Corner got the win. That's big for them, and all of a sudden Corner might shoot up the rankings. And some other scores: Hueytown won 51-0 against Bryant. Oxford beat Pinson Valley 40-7. Fultondale defeated Fayette County 38-7, and Garndale gets their first win in a big way,
good for
beating
them.
Jackson Olin 51-8.
Chad Eads needed that win for Gardendale. Next week is where we're going to be. We had Groves tonight, Valleys next week. Shades Valley hosting Pinson Valley. Again, the pregame at 6:40 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock from Shades Valley. For our great crew, executive producer John Huddleston, John Rocket making us look good, and the entire crew that does all the great work, we thank you for watching the JEFCOED-TV Game of the Week. The final again, Pleasant Grove 41, Oak Grove 7. We'll see you next week.